Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the E34 podcast. Tonight, I got myself Hector, also known as CN6, and with me, I got Hav
Yo.
and Jazzy.
What up?
And tonight, guys, we are going to be reviewing season 3 of FX The Bear. And this will be a spoiler review just because The Bear has been out. Season 3 has been out for a while now. So if you guys do not want spoilers, we'll click off. But if you guys do want spoilers, hey, man, let's talk about it, man.
Enjoy this shit.
There's a lot of things to talk about here in The Bear. But before we get into it, I'd like to remind you guys that you guys can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Make sure you follow our socials at Heat Ray Vision Podcast or go to heatrayvisionpodcast.com. You're going to see all of our links through there. Also, make sure you join the Discord. It will be the top link in the description. And we have some plans coming, man. We're thinking of doing some like watch party. We don't know exactly when or what movie. We for sure are gonna let you guys decide, but that will come in the future. But that's just me telling you to join the Discord because we're gonna be doing stuff like that, and you can interact with us and we could just vibe, talk about movies and shit. So. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. We're going to talk about The Bear, Mario. Let's get it, man.
Hell yeah, boys. All right. So basically, guys, season 3 of The Bear picks up right where we left off season 2 with Carmen walking out of the freezer, right? And the whole point of this episode, basically, it's a trip down memory lane with Carmen, right? We see not his upbringing, I guess you can say his growth of him becoming a chef at all the different locations where he tutored under professional chefs who were already, I guess, established. We see the British lady, the guy with the glasses, the fucking dickhead, right?
Yeah, the dickhead. Yeah.
We see one where he's like in a garden or some shit. I forgot who was in charge of that one specifically, but that was mainly the whole point of this episode. For me personally, man, the way I would describe episode 1 is that it kind of just felt like a journey, man, and it was a journey where like I was 110% invested from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yo, the whole vibe, the aura this shit episode got, dude, I was like, yo, I'm hooked. I'm like, this is how we're starting off? Dude, this is amazing. I absolutely loved it. I don't know about you guys. What did you guys think about it?
Yeah, Javi, you want to go first?
Me first?
Yeah.
I thought that this first episode, I know I went on social media, a lot of people were like, this first episode's weird. Like,
I saw it.
I can't keep track of what's going on. It's like a montage, blah, blah, blah. And I know a lot of people were hating on it. Me, personally, I thought it was executed well. I thought this was a very well way of executing the first episode because, like Mario said, it recalls a lot of Carmi's core memories following the events of what happened at the end of season 2, and you get a bunch of little glimpses. Like, you get glimpses of his past, shit that we've seen in the first 2 seasons, stuff that's going to happen in the future, but you don't know that yet. I thought it was very well done. Something about, like, just the music that was playing in the background, the somber music.
And I saw people were hating on that. They're like, oh, I couldn't stand the constant music that was playing throughout the episode.
Really?
Yeah, bro, I did.
For me, I think music is a very powerful thing when it comes
Absolutely.
to like a visual media. It very much sets the tone. That's why when you're watching a scary movie and no music or sound is playing, it's scary, it's sketchy or whatever the hell. But for me, I felt like the constant somber music, the different montages of the core memories, the way that it was edited together, very little dialogue you ever really get to hear. I thought it was just very well done. I literally was like, this is not even a real episode, and I'm hooked. For me, I don't even know how to put it into words, like just how everything flowed nicely. My only nitpick with this episode is that it has those black pauses. Like, it's almost like that's where commercial breaks happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This is a show that, from my knowledge, you stream, and there's no ads. But I know, I guess there's like a Hulu with ads.
Hulu with ads, yeah.
And maybe that's when it plays.
They probably.
Well, no, I don't either, right?
No.
But
I think I got those.
I'm
I don't know
assuming
why
those
you.
black
I don't know why you
pauses
get
are
them,
where
bro.
those ads go.
Yeah, probably.
And I guess
Yeah.
my only thing is, like, those pauses kind of a little bit in a way broke the momentum of the episode. Had this been like a adless, no pauses in between episode, just one constant thing that for like just 30 minutes straight, feel like it would have flowed a lot smoother. Not to say that the episode is now ruined and tarnished, but like I would have liked those pauses not to be there. But everything else, dude. And I think a lot of it was like just like the mystery, because at first you're watching it, because I'm assuming, I don't know about y'all, for me, when I watch an episode, I don't read the little description.
Oh yeah, me neither.
I don't need. I just go into the episode. So for a while, you're like, "What am I watching?" You first start trying to understand what it is you're trying to watch. You just think you're watching, season 3, like, oh, this is what happens after the whole fridge situation.
Yeah.
But like then you're like, wait a minute, Mikey's alive, his brother, and then you're seeing like when the bear is the beef, and you're seeing old flashbacks, and then you're seeing him cook under Joel McHale's character, right? That asshole chef that always berates him into his ear. And you're seeing shit, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I think this is going to be like a montage episode of things that happened in the past. Then you see other things that you're like, wait a minute, this looks like shit that hasn't happened in the show yet. What's going on? Now we're seeing the future or whatever. Like, it just kind of does that. And, yeah, you're confused, but to me, I'm kind of like hooked. You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean, I thought the same thing as you guys, man. Not everyone else. People were hating on it, saying, "Yo, this is kind of confusing. I can't follow along. I can't stand the constant music that's playing in the background." I saw people were saying on X, and speaking on X, because you guys are saying, I couldn't really describe it. I described it as a journey. I described it, I guess I'm a selfish plug here, man. I posted this on my X, right? I said that the Bear season 3 premiere was absolutely brilliant. A beautifully crafted combination of self-reflection and a snapshot of Carmen's consciousness. And that is exactly what this episode is, man. I love it because it sets the tone for the rest of the
season.
And same thing with themes about self-reflection. And I just love it, man. And
because you catch glimpses of a bunch of different things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I
And
mean?
actually, speaking of that, I mean, I should have said this, but real quick, because I just plugged that. Hav, where can they find you, bro?
Hav is flying right now on Instagram.
Cool. Mario, where can
And
they
then
find you?
everywhere at Just Jazzy, all socials.
Awesome. But yeah, dude, I think it just sets the tone perfectly, dude. I'm trying to think, man. I don't think I ever saw a TV show or anything like this before, in my opinion. Like where it was just the way they did that. I was like, what the fuck?
No, for
And
me,
I liked it a lot, bro.
It had been a while since I felt where like I was like so captivated from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long while. The last thing I can remember, and this is where it was just one anime called Bleach. That's the last time I felt. It was just one episode where I was like, holy fuck, I was blown away. I was captivated from beginning to end. And the same thing, I got that same exact feeling when I was watching this first episode. So
I just wonder why people were not liking it.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know what. I don't know. It's super weird, man. But hey, everybody.
Talking
has
about
their
this
own
or
taste.
Bleach?
No. This
For
episode.
this episode.
This
This episode.
Nah, I just mentioned that because that's the last time I remember
That you
feeling
felt
that
that
way
way.
about a TV show.
Yeah, man. I thought it was
because for a
fucking-
movie, it was doomed too, right? But I guess two things we should mention before we move on to the next episode is that we kind of get to see how Carmi kind of handles a passing of a loved one, because in this episode we get a phone call where he gets told that, hey, his brother, right?
Yeah. his
Yeah,
brother.
his
brother passed
Mikey.
away, and that we see him pull up to the funeral, but he sits outside in his car and doesn't pull up.
Yeah.
So
I
that
love-
kind of tells
Actually,
you how he processes.
I think I used that actual photo on that post that I made.
Oh,
on
of him in the
X.
car?
I believe so, because I'm glad you're mentioning it, because, dude, I don't know what it is. That should put me in the feels, man. I'm like, yo.
For
I
a
just
movie,
love-
for a movie.
This is
For,
it, right?
Let me see.
This is the.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that one. Yeah, he's just sitting in the car.
I think
yeah.
Dude. Oh, man.
the cool
and,
thing, bro.
he's watching people who were at
He's
the
just-
funeral
yeah,
walk
man.
out.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
The cool thing, bro, is that with
It
this
made you feel
episode,
shit, man.
Yeah.
for this episode, bro, like, because it's not like an actual episode, it's more like a montage episode of core
Yeah.
memories, like you said, right? And there's not a lot of dialogue, it's a lot of music. One thing that carries this episode was a lot of cinematography.
Dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because since there's not really a lot of dialogue or nothing, it's just kind of show you
Absolutely.
stuff. Cinematography, I think, was on point.
And, like, here's the thing, man. And
I
another
love
thing,
the final
too-
shot.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it just makes it such a good episode because they're able to create a narrative and
In this episode.
without dialogue, by just the music and just the cinematography and the different types of montage, they were able to do that, and that's what I loved about it. That's
And they
how
were-
creative it was, man.
And the way they ended it, where you see his journey, you see how he processes things, good and bad, right? And at the end, you see him back at the Bear, his restaurant, and he has the meals,
yeah,
and they're all from his journey. And I'm just like, whoa, that
Yeah,
was...
man.
You just told like a mini story within this like 20-minute episode. I forgot how long it was. But within this episode where I'm just like, oh, that shit was satisfying as fuck. Because you could do all this, but you got to stick the landing. And I think they did with the first episode. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that we get to see Marcus get a phone call from Sydney saying like, hey, you don't take all the time you need.
Oh, yes,
this and that, right? Because obviously at the end of last season, we see that his mom, Marcus's mom, isn't really in the best condition. She's alive, but here we're just led to assume like, hey, yo, what the fuck happened? This and that, and we kind of get to see with how he handles it. And I have things to say about Marcus, and so do you, Hob. I'm sure you do, but we'll get to that when we do, obviously, right?
Okay.
But that was basically it for episode 1. I mean, if you guys were to give a quick rating for episode 1, for me personally,
bro, we're gonna do ratings. For
just quick one. Don't explain it.
A rating?
Just quick.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I could remember thoroughly like the episodes to really give a rating, but this episode 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I bet. All right,
that's it.
Yeah, I was about to say this episode for me, bro.
For me, bro, I don't want to really rate the episodes separately because I feel like that's gonna give away my last rating.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right,
that's fair. Yeah.
If all these are 9s, like, well, how
I
can
think
you give it
okay,
a 9?
we'll do.
How
Okay,
about
how about
this?
this? We'll do episode ratings if we're gonna do like for
Weekly.
for a weekly pod.
All right, bet.
We'll
Sounds
do
good.
that.
All right.
For like if we're gonna just do the whole season, we won't do that.
All right.
Just because I don't want y'all guessing what my rating is. I
Yeah.
want to keep that shit a secret.
that's
I think
fine,
we
man,
always
that's
do
fair.
that every episode.
No, I was about to say I think for me, bro, I think this was my favorite episode in the season.
Favorite
Really?
episode?
Favorite?
I think this
That's
was
tough.
No, it's
bro,
up there.
It's up
because
there.
This one and episode 2 I liked a lot. And
I did
episode 2
too.
is mainly because it's an episode 2 is a good transition to episode 2 is that it was very quick in dialogue when because Carmi's in the kitchen and characters are coming in one by one and they're all just like the dialogue is just on point, like everyone's just talking snappy. It just has that like Academy Award winning dialogue that the show has always had.
Yeah.
But those are the 2 episodes I feel like stuck out the most.
And with that being said, like I also want to say this as well is that I saw people not really liking this season just because it kind of slowed down and everything. But the first episode, I think, just sets the tone perfectly for the entire season because the way I put it together is I still love this season, man. Even if it wasn't as chaotic or fast paced as the other 2 episodes.
That is true.
Right? The reason why is because they finally got to the point where they have the bear now, right? This is the calm after the storm. You know, the first 2 seasons, that's where it was completely chaotic. This season is about actually self-reflection, peering into the past and trying to move on from it, you know, and that's why it's super mellow and more calm. And I personally like that. That's how I perceived it. I know people wanted that traditional, you know, for the first 2 seasons, the craziness, the oh my god, everything's going crazy type shit. Me personally, I knew that's just how I perceived it, and that's why I think I enjoyed it like a lot, bro. Just as much as the other two seasons, personally. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so I guess like one of the main things for episode 2 is that we see that Carmi is making a list of non-negotiables. Basically, this is like, hey, these rules, we gotta follow them if we're gonna get a star. And so he presents these non-negotiables to Sydney, to Richie, and all that shit. And basically, all of them, they're just like, hey, do we really need this shit? And then Carmi kind of gets like kind of frustrated. Defensive. I was like, what do you mean? Like, if we're going to get a star, if you guys want that shit, this is what you got to do.
But now we know the reason, right, as to why he's doing this. Now, I don't think it's explained in the show why he's writing non-negotiables and why he's being so defensive about it. I think it was one of those things where at least I figured out why he's doing this. Especially when he was talking about it with Sid and then Richie comes in and the sister and it's like, oh, I know why he's doing this. I know why he's being a bitch and shit like that. And it's because the whole situation with Claire. Because in the last episode of last season, he accidentally spills his guts out and admits, like, I'm not in a position to be in a relationship. And nothing good in my life should ever happen. My focus is the restaurant. And little did he know, Claire heard all that on the other side of the fridge when he was trapped. So in order for him to not dwell on that past and what happened in that situation, he's just going to bury himself into his own work. So he's making non-negotiables. His now focus is, well, I'm going to make this restaurant successful. This is my passion now, and I want to get us a Michelin star, which is a big deal in a restaurant. The max you can get is 3, and like that's like a really big deal, and it's super hard for a restaurant to even get 1 star, let alone 3. So now he's like, this is how successful restaurants run. We're gonna do non-negotiables, and they're like, bro, what? Changing the menu every fucking day,
Dude, that's crazy. What do y'all think about that?
What is he on about?
Nah, fuck
dude,
that,
I'm
bro.
like, fuck out of here, bro.
That's crazy. But like, you know what sucks too? Because like, dude, bro, let's go to the fucking Bear. It's delicious. What do they have this week or today? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
We just
What I ate last week ain't there no more.
No, it's every day, right?
Every day it's a
every
different
day.
menu.
So like, bro,
Yeah,
and
fuck
they don't
that.
repeat their.
They don't repeat their
They
shit.
don't repeat the dishes,
bro.
And I'm just like, dude, what? And
Not
everyone
even,
is
not even
literally-
Gordon Ramsay though.
That's facts.
You think there's a restaurant that actually does that?
I don't know.
That
Hopefully,
changes it, probably, bro.
Fuck.
I mean, if they,
Probably.
I mean, my thing is like, I think the Bear does a lot of trying to pull from real life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. Like one of the things I can appreciate about the Bear, the TV show, is that it gives you kind of like the peek behind the curtain as to how real restaurants, fancy restaurants, run in the real world.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure there's restaurants out there that do that, and I'm sure they're
Mm-hmm.
classified as high praise restaurants, super fancy, top notch, 3 Michelin stars, and it's like, bro. But I'm trying to eat the spaghetti y'all had last week. What you mean y'all got fettuccine now? Y'all bitches.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
The way you said fettuccine made me laugh.
To me, it's just like, I'm sure there's restaurants out there. So, yes, I do think there are restaurants that do that.
Yeah, so and
I'm
that's
gonna just stick with BK. That's just me, though.
Yes, man. But no, that's good. That's good you bring it up, Alpha, because that's one of the points I wanted to tackle. Is that at some point in this episode they even tackle that? They're like, "Hey,
Dude, I think that
everyone
was like
seems
episode 3
invested,
or
but
4.
Sydney."
Wait, what?
I don't know if you
Say it
noticed.
again? Say it again?
Everyone is invested in Carmi and Claire except for Sydney. Like Sydney's just like, hell, like I don't really give a fuck.
yeah, because Sydney feels like they don't need to do this crazy shit. She just wants to.
Yeah.
She's cooking for the passion more.
Back
or
to
less,
Ops
like
point, yeah.
more like Carmen. He's there for like he wants to prove himself. He wants to prove himself, and especially for his brother Mikey, and he just wants to be the greatest. And one thing that I do actually like about this is kind of like how to be great, you
have to
also
make
have to be you have to make sacrifices, and you have to be like obsessed.
That's true.
But right,
It comes at a
it
cost.
comes at a cost.
That's true.
And that's what we learn in this season, especially the last season with the whole Claire situation.
But I think another thing to add on to what you're
Yeah.
saying, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
To add
I was
on
pretty- I
to
was
that, I think it's another thing where like he was so frustrated that the opening for the Bear had to go perfect, and they kind of started hitting road bumps, and the worst thing that could happen was that Carmi gets locked into that fridge, and out of frustration, he lets out his honest thoughts that maybe when you're angry, bro, like, you know, you ever had those feelings where you're just frustrated, you're angry, you're just overwhelmed that you say something and maybe you didn't mean it, but it came out
wrong
or whatever. And I felt like that scene in season 2, he kind of did that. And out of the worst case scenario, Claire happened to be on the other side of that door and heard everything and realized, damn, he doesn't want this relationship. He doesn't want this. And she leaves the restaurant crying. And Richie's like, what the fuck did you do? He's yelling at him, right? All this shit. So I think for Carmi, he realized that I think deep down he knows that what he said to Claire indirectly, he didn't really mean it. He's like, I didn't actually mean to say those things. It was in the heat of the moment. But you know what? I can't admit defeat, I guess, is what his mentality. So now it's like, I basically said that this restaurant is more important than having a happy relationship with this girl. So now I have to force myself to believe that. Therefore, these are the non-negotiables. We're going to get a star. We're going to do whatever it takes. And people are like, you're fucking crazy, bro. We can't be doing all this shit. This is just kind of like, well, too bad. It's non-negotiable. You can't argue with this, and we're going to do it like this. But I think deep down, he realizes that he doesn't believe it. But in order for him to... Because it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I had a good thing going. It was this girl. But now I don't have that anymore. So now all I have is this restaurant.
So I have
So now
to
I'm going to
make
put all my
something.
focus and all my effort into this. And he now creates a goal in his head. Well, we're going to get a Michelin star. And we're going to get there by doing these things. But he's just doing it as a way to kind of like run away from the responsibility that he fucked up big time with that girl. Because of what happened.
Yeah.
So I like that deep down you can tell even he doesn't believe in all of this. He's just doing it because now he has nothing else going for him. He doesn't have a brother. His staff kind of turns on him.
Yeah.
Claire's out of the picture. Now all he has is his fucking restaurant.
And speaking of staff, during this episode, we also get waiters quit because of dysfunctional kitchen.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
And it just backs up
And
that.
it's one of those things where it's like, you should like, Carmi should take a step back and be
Like,
like,
yo,
oh
bro.
shit, I'm losing staff. Like, people are not agreeing. I should stop this. But because he doesn't want to admit that defeat, and because he's like, no, like, if I said those things to Claire, it must have been true. Then I have to go through with this. And it becomes obsessive, like you said.
I think he's always been obsessed though. Ever since his brother passed, Like, because for example, like he's always been trying to be like the greatest chef, like for him, right? And then his brother's death is what caused him to like flip the switch even more. Like, okay, I gotta make this work. And the way I took of it, bro, is like he was always obsessed, and he just thought Claire was just in the way. Like, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this restaurant up and running. I want to get the star. I gotta do this for Mikey. I gotta do this for my brother. But Claire is just, she's just in the way. Like, I can't balance a healthy relationship and this relationship that I have with a restaurant. And so obviously him being frustrated, and he just believes that he just cannot do both things. He just let it out, and he said that. And because of that, like, I guess it kind of a little bit ties in your situation. Because he lost Claire, now he's like, okay, well, let me go back to being more obsessed, but this time I have to make it work because I just sacrificed something that I just sacrificed something part of my life that I love dearly. Now I for sure have to be more obsessive and actually make it work.
And it ties into what you said earlier. The big theme about this season is self-reflection.
Exactly.
He reflected that, oh shit, I fucked up with Claire. I should not have said that. Yeah. And like, it's one of those things where it's like, you didn't know something was good until you lose it. Saying. So it's like, he realized that Claire being hurt by the things that he said and walking out on him made him reflect like, oh shit, I did something wrong. I should not be this obsessive. I shouldn't be like this. I should not have sacrificed the relationship. But fuck, she's gone now. And like, I fucked up. And rather than doing the logical thing, calling her up like, hey, I didn't mean it, he doubled down on the obsessiveness of trying to get the restaurant to launch and do well. And that's why these non-negotiables are becoming a thing, and everyone's like turning on him like, bro, you're fucking crazy, blah, blah. But he doesn't give a fuck. And the one person that's really on his ass is, I forget his name, the uncle. The one that lent him the money to launch the restaurant. Because he's like, once the restaurant does well, we make profit, we'll pay you the money back. Instead, because he's changing the menus and his orders for ingredients are so big, he keeps...
Uncle Jimmy.
That guy. He keeps asking for money, and the dude is like, where's my fucking money?
Like, we're losing money, man.
Exactly. Like, you know? So like, that's the one person that's been up his ass the most, and that ties into something that we learn a few episodes from now later. But that's a big thing to keep in mind, is that he's more frustrated that he keeps losing his own money investing in the restaurant and not making the money that Carmy already owes him back. He just keeps digging himself into that hole. And so in a sense, you're like, you know where everyone is coming from, but mostly you understand, like, there's going to be a bit of a feud between Carmy and Uncle Jimmy, because it's like they're at odds because their mentalities are very different. It's like, oh shit, where's this going to lead? Where's this going to go? But I do like that. Yeah.
And it just, this is like the first time where we see Sydney kind of unsure. And like it's kind of like foreshadowing. He's like, oh man, does she want to?
She's doubting her position in this restaurant, or not her commitment, I should say, not position.
Yeah, because of the changes, and not only that, I think there's certain things that she wants to do, but Carmen is like, no, type
like
of shit.
This is my restaurant, I call the shots,
type of thing. But yeah, okay, that was okay.
I think one thing we should end with for this episode 2 specifically is that we get a moment between Marcus and Carmy. And this basically confirms to us that Marcus's mom passed away, because we get a convo where Marcus says to him, "We're like, are you? I'm all in, Carmy. Like, take us there, bear."
Oh man, dude,
and I love that
fucking last line. Like, fucked me up, bro.
Yeah,
because it was one of those things where I think, now this is just me, I think Carmy started to self-doubt again.
Well, wait, what was the line that you said?
Take us there, bear.
Oh yeah,
because he realized, like, you know what, my mom really believed in this restaurant.
Because his mom died while he was at the restaurant.
Right. And his mom, didn't he also say, I could be making shit up, didn't he also say his mom's the reason he even got into
because culinary? His mom would, didn't it say like his mom would bake shit and he would just fuck around with it and everything?
I can't remember.
Something like that, but his mom was involved, I'm pretty sure.
So another thing is, like, I think there was a moment where even Carmy started to realize, because everyone, Richie, Sid, Uncle Jimmy, everyone, and the sister, I forget her sister's name, they're all like, Carmy, this is OD, bro. Non-negotiables, changing the menu. You're doing too much. And he's being like, he's like ignorant. He's like, no. Like, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. And I think there was a split second where he's like, you know what? I think they're right.
Yeah, because Marcus opens up his eyes like, oh shit, like he's, like his mom just passed away and he's putting everything he has for me. I can't fuck this up.
And he has this realization. I think there was a split second where he's like, you know what? I can't do these non-negotiables. We should not change the menu every day. I'm crazy. I shouldn't. But when Marcus was like, my mom believed in this restaurant. She believed in me. And now I don't want to let her down because that would be tarnishing her memory. So you know what? Take us there, Bear. I'm all in, no matter what it takes. And now Carmi's like, okay, well now fuck. Now I have the responsibility of Marcus counting on me to get us there.
Just more pressure.
And now it's like, well, now here we go again.
Can we just like acknowledge real quick like how great of an actor that guy is? I don't know.
Marcus?
No,
well,
him, I think
White?
everyone. I loved everybody, but I'm talking about
Carmi.
Carmen.
Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
Bro, dude, I just
He's
love
fire.
him, man.
Yeah.
No, he's fire.
I
And
love
I'm gonna
him
be
as
honest,
Carmen.
dude. I never watched Shameless, and that's kind of
never
where
seen that either.
I tried. I never could get hooked.
I never seen.
I never got into it. I never checked it out, honestly. But I know that's where you got to start. And he was really
Yeah.
young. That show went on for 10 seasons.
Yeah.
And he was like a teen or whatever the fuck when he started, and he
Oh,
into
wow.
a young adult. But I do know him from this, obviously, and then Iron Claw.
Yeah, Iron
He was
Claw.
really good in that episode, in that movie too. But yeah, no, dude.
I think everyone. I loved everyone, man. I love everyone in this fucking show, man.
I like this show a lot because it gives everyone their sunshine. if that
Yeah,
makes- or their
right?
spotlight.
Gives them some airtime.
And it's funny I'm saying that because I have a critique for one of the characters not getting their spotlight.
I know who you're talking about.
We'll talk about
I know
it
who you're talking about.
when everything's all said
But
and done.
I think if I'm not mistaken, hasn't Jeremy Allen White won an Emmy for
this
each
show?
season of the show? The last couple years?
I know last year.
I know
did.
he won most recently.
Yeah,
for
that I
season
know.
2
For the
But
Bear?
For the Bear, he won for best actor in a
wow.
TV show.
I did not know
But
that.
I don't know if he won the first season because season
no
3 just
idea.
came out, which means the award show will be next year. But for season 1, didn't he win an award? I know he won for season 2.
Oh, for the Bear, I know what was her name? The Hispanic, the Hispanic girl, the Hispanic
Yeah,
woman.
yeah.
She was nominated for one of those.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. I'm sure.
Tina.
Tina, yes,
That's
Tina.
her
There
name.
we
And her real
go.
name is Lisa Colon Zayas.
Tina,
Yes.
man, I loved her episode as well. But we'll get to that later.
But no,
anyway,
the episode 3 basically opens up at Marcus's mom's funeral, and he gives a speech, which I think was, how he went about it wasn't perfect, but that's Marcus. Like how he gave his speech, if that makes sense. Like it fit his character, which I think that was really cool. But in this episode, we basically get a month of how this restaurant looks. It takes us to basically it was like that episode in season 1. Where like it was short. It was short as fuck, and I'm pretty sure it was a one shot too. I'm pretty sure it was edited,
Was
but
it?
a few
What?
basically one shot where they're in the old restaurant, the Beef, and it's
They're
just
showing
them.
how everything.
Oh, that
all
shit?
chaotic. It's,
Yeah.
That's basically
Dude.
the fucking
just
the
thinking back,
feeling
man,
of
this
this.
show's fire, man.
Dude, yeah,
I love this show.
I know because you just don't. I'm like, it's 20 minutes, but I'm like, yeah, it's short. But I'm like, dude, it feels long and it's worth it. Like every minute is amazing. But and this episode highlights that Carmi and Richie still aren't really. What's the word? They're not on good terms still. Because of how it ended with season 2 of them basically arguing like, no, Carmen, why can't you let anything good happen? You're like, are you fucking dipshit? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And Carmen's like, oh, fuck you. You're divorced. Like, fuck you.
Remember when they go back and forth, non-negotiable, like.
And on that too,
bullshit.
they were arguing on that. But so this one basically highlights that because Richie basically wants control in the restaurant. He's like, hey, this is my dojo. I forgot what he fucking said exactly. He's like, this is my dojo. I call the shots. And Carmen's like, no. This is how we're going to do it, whatever the fuck, and shit. But.
Or no, isn't he saying like, oh, out there in the dining room is
my
mine?
shit?
Yeah, there we go. That's what
Not
I'm
the
trying to say.
restaurant, like.
Like,
dining
I
room.
didn't know what to call that area, like the restaurant and the kitchen. That's why I was.
It's because he said restaurant. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure Carmi owns the restaurant. No, the dining room. He's
yeah,
like,
there you go.
that's,
That's the word I was
my
looking for.
territory. That's my shit.
Yeah, that's.
But he
basically what I
tells
was
them
looking
like,
for.
fuck no. If we want to get this star, it's non-negotiable. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I hate this shit, bro. I'm gonna make my own non-negotiables.
For real, and he
I would have
does.
done that.
I think he does.
But like, you never step past this door.
He does. I think Richie does, doesn't
Oh,
he?
yeah,
he does
he
make his
does.
own non-negotiables.
Oh,
he gives it to
yeah.
Carmen, and Carmen is like, "What the fuck is this?" Like non-negotiables, and he like walks off. And it's like, "What the fuck?" You know. And speaking of
But
that,
it's
right?
funny because it's like that's a Richie ass thing to do, bro.
No, it is.
Was it this season or last season where the big guy, the guy with the mustache,
Uh,
where like Carmi hands him? I think it's in this episode.
No,
actually.
it's in this one.
It's in this episode, right? Where
the fucking the Fact brothers.
Oh, Fact.
The Fact Brothers.
Bro, where Carmen's like, all right, take it out. And he literally the camera follows him from behind. He sees him pouring, like, all right, pour this for them and give it to them. He's like, all right, here, this. Chef Carmen wanted me to pour it for you.
Let me explain it. Let me explain it.
Oh, I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
I don't think is it this episode?
It might be, because this is like
okay, so listen. Episode. So obviously, Carmen is like, I need hands. There's no hands, right?
Like, give me fucking hands.
And then Fact is like, yo, I could do it. Carmen's like, oh, you sure? You know what to do? It's like, yeah. It's like, I could do it. Okay, you're gonna go over to that table.
Oh,
and you're gonna,
yeah.
And you're gonna and just pour it in front of them, and then just come back. And then he's like, all right, cool. So it's like a one-shot film. It's a one-shot like shit, right? It's following Fact, and he's walking out with like this with their food or something.
It's like some liquid. Yeah.
Yeah, some like dressing that you pour into the soup or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And so he literally, we're following him. He goes to the table, like, hey, he says hi to them, and he greets them, and he starts pouring the dressing or whatever into the meal, and he's like, there you guys go, and he walks back into the kitchen with the meal, and then Carmen's like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck are you doing back here? He's like, you told me to pour it in front of him. I did. And it's like, that's where everything kind of went to shit, where Richie's like, where Richie comes, he's like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, yo, what the fuck are you, Fact, what are you doing? Because he was supposed to pour it in front of them and like give it to them. But he just poured it in front of them and
walked
all right,
away.
there you guys go. And he left. And he left with the food. It's like,
shit.
what the fuck are you doing? It's kind of like if he did this, like, oh, you know how they toss a salad in front of you? It's like, oh, toss a salad in front of him and just, come back. He just tosses a salad, yeah, guys, and he just takes the salad back. Like,
He doesn't even give him a portion.
hey, listen, since we're laughing at this, I actually want to say this too, because I've seen like other like media outlets call the show a comedy, and I want to ask you guys this:
Is it?
do you guys agree with that? Because listen, the only comedy shit that I see, obviously, some little quips here and there with Carmen and Richie and even the uncle. But most importantly is the Fact Brothers, right? Which is Fact and his brother, and then we get a guest appearance.
Dude.
We get John Cena, right?
Yeah.
I think it's this episode.
Dude, that shit was fire.
The whole John Cena, the whole haunting bullshit. Like,
like,
oh,
I'm gonna haunt you.
I'm haunted right now. Like, that's all funny.
That dad got haunted for 20
For
years.
real.
Like, that's just the whole bullshit,
It's so
bro.
stupid, yeah. Because the Fact Brothers
They're the
what are they
comedic
called?
relief.
They're comedic relief, and like they're just goofy, right?
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, people call this a comedy, bro. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that kind of bugs me because it's like,
No.
this is not a comedy, man. Just because there's comedic relief does not make it a comedy.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say that is because I think, is it the Emmys or where you win the award?
The
for Best
award,
Actor?
it's like the Oscars for TV shows.
I saw that it says The Bear, and it said that under the genre, it had comedy in it, and I'm like, this ain't a comedy, buddy. Not to me, at least.
Yeah, I know.
I understand why it can come off as that, but absolutely not. Just because there's comedic relief doesn't mean it's a comedy. You know what I mean?
It's not.
So,
I
okay, I just
don't
wanted
think
to. I just wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think of that?
No, I mean, I will admit that comedic moments are mostly when it comes to like the Fact Brothers.
Absolutely.
When it's them and they're like handymanning the fucking like the restaurant and like any of the situations. I will say, since we're on the topic, I will say I do have a slight gripe with this season.
Okay.
And that is that I feel like the show shows us too many Fact Brothers scenes. And you can just tell, bro, or maybe it's just me. I mean,
Okay.
because I've seen a lot of movies and TV shows in my time. I can tell when a scene is not scripted. You can
Okay.
just tell when the director is like, hey, since you guys are just naturally funny, I'm going to just say action, y'all just talk bullshit. And like the comedy will come naturally because you guys are funny as it is, like improv, ad-libbing. And I could tell that most of the scenes that involve the Fact Brothers talking amongst themselves when they're handymanning, changing a
improv.
light bulb, or if it's John Cena like in the
improv
picture,
type shit.
was improv.
Hell yeah.
And it is funny, but I do feel like there were some scenes that would drag on a little too long. And I'm
Really?
like, okay, I think we could cut it now, but like they kind of keep talking a little bit more.
Is there a scene like in particular you could think of?
I can't, bro. I
don't
can't.
Because me personally, I never felt that way.
I did.
Okay, Mar, did you feel that way with some scenes with the Fact Brothers? Is that what they're called, bro? I don't even know.
I can
The Fact,
check,
right?
but
I don't know.
no, I can tell you right now.
But did you feel that way where like some of the comedic
Yeah,
moments with them?
that's their last name, Neil Fack.
Neil
F-A-K.
Fack
Brothers.
F-A-K, yeah.
Yeah.
Fact.
Okay.
But
where like it kind of dragged on a bit or anything like that?
I kind of agree with
yeah?
Hav, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I see what they're doing here.
Interesting.
They're trying to make it feel real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey,
And but
like,
it
hey,
is
man.
like which I think it is. What you said, it's improv, and you could tell. And I definitely enjoy it.
I'm saying because I'm like, there's no way someone scripted them talking about like, well, Dad was haunted for 20 years, blah blah. Like, I'm pretty sure they just told them like, hey, made some jokes about the haunting shit, and just go from there. Because I feel like if you were to go back, I didn't do this, but if you would like to look up interviews of the actors involved in the scene, I'm sure they're funny in real life. It's like Ryan Reynolds, bro. It's like Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds and everything. That when you watch Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm sure some of those scenes were improv. Like, I'm sure that wasn't in the script, but Ryan Reynolds thought of something funnier to say at the moment and just says it. I feel like those scenes were just improv a lot. And I don't have a problem with ad-lib. No, go based on what the screenplay... No. I'm just saying... Yeah, it's just funny, but certain scenes felt like a little too dragged on. I'm like, okay, I get it, guys.
I can.
It's one of those things where I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah. All right, no.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, they're still joking. Well, I already had that big laugh. Like, okay, here we go, Carmi and Sid. It's like, you know what I mean? That's what I felt like.
I don't know. I didn't feel that way.
And I'm gonna be honest, and not to spoil anything, right? Yeah. Does this affect my score? No.
Okay.
But I do. It is a nitpick where I'm like, y'all could cut it back, like certain scenes where I'm like, oh, I get the part, like, you know, did you hear that Dad got? It's like when they were talking about like how John Cena's gonna haunt one of them or whatever. It's like, well, did you hear that Dad got haunted by Uncle Steve like for 20 years? Like, that's crazy, bro. Blah blah blah. And I heard that, and it's like maybe they could have just ended it there. It's like, yeah, bro, or like that one, like in in that haunting of 20 years, like he put a spider in his bathtub and blah blah blah. And it's like,
yeah,
we didn't have to mention that last part, and the scene goes on for an extra 10 seconds that. You could have cut out, and we could have just gone back to the story. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way when John Cena was on screen. I feel maybe he's better at ad-libbing. I don't know what it is. But certain Fact Brothers scenes, the comedy did go on for too long. And maybe that's what classified the show as like a comedy
probably
by certain media outlets. I don't agree with it, but maybe this... Because if I'm looking back, bro, there were comedic scenes in season 1 and 2.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Especially involving Neil. But... I do think now. Granted, season 1 and 2 I saw last year. Season 3 I saw a month ago when it first came out. So maybe my memory is a little bit blurry. But I think season 3 had more comedic scenes than seasons 1 and 2 combined. And a lot of it comes from these improv scenes with the Fact Brothers. There was like Fact was like funny in seasons 1 and 2. And when his brother comes in, like, yeah, it's funny, but I think season 3 had a little bit more of that. And maybe that's why they're like, this show's a comedy.
Probably.
That's probably what it is. Because, like, as I was watching the show, I'm like, I feel like the show has more funny jokes involving these brothers than the last season did.
Oh, for sure. With the Fact Brothers, yes. Yeah. For sure. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think this show had a little bit more comedy. Did it tarnish the show as a whole? No. My little nitpick is, like, the scenes went on for too long. You know what I mean? But that's just me.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are saying...
Well, he says he agrees. Me, personally, I didn't feel that way. I thought, like... I don't know. I enjoyed it. Like, even if it was stupid shit. It made me feel like I was part of the bear type shit. Like, I was immersed. I'm like, oh, shit, that is kind of funny.
That's the whole point. It wants to make you feel like it's a real restaurant.
And so me, personally, I didn't mind it. You know? But... Where we at, Mario?
No, so basically the next thing that basically goes down is that Natalie, basically who is Carmi's sister, Natalie tells Carmi that, like, hey man, you buying a new meal every day, whatever the fuck, it's expensive as shit, and it's causing.
We forgot to mention something real quick.
Well, go ahead.
This was in episode 2, I believe, where Uncle Jimmy and Carmen and stuff, they dropped the bomb on Sydney. We're like, yo, we want you to co-sign. Own the bear.
Oh, that's right.
We forgot to mention this.
Oh, yeah. Because that becomes a thing later.
That becomes a big thing. And she's thinking about it, so she's like, okay, like, yeah, that seems good. So this plays a big role in her story in this shit, too. But, okay, anyway.
But yeah, no, this is just Natalie telling Carmi that, like, hey, man, like, this is getting really expensive. Like, it costs a lot of money to make a new menu every single fucking day.
They said how much money, bro.
You know what's something that
they said how much money they were losing a month, bro, and it was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot, bro. I can't remember, but
I can't remember either. But you know what? Something like they did it throughout the whole season, and it's a nitpick. It's not gonna affect my score. It's just me like damn,
what they do?
That's a waste. Whenever they would like be fucking around in the kitchen or whatever the fuck, and they're like, no, they don't like it, and it's like a fully cooked plate. They just throw it in the garbage, bro. And I'm like, bro, someone can eat that, bro. Like,
man, Mario's poor ass childhood creeping up on him.
No, but what if it's fake? You're a bitch for that.
What the fuck?
He's so horrible, bro. Anyway, Me too, motherfucker. Like, wait, what the fuck?
That's why you agreed.
I just realized, bro, you a bitch out. Anyway, no, I definitely agree. But what if it's like fake? You know how like when they do commercials?
No,
Like fake
I'm
burgers?
assuming it's fake. But you know, in real restaurants, they probably do that.
100%. No, listen, and you know, speaking of this is fun. This is off topic a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, off topic real quick. But that's true. Millions of restaurants and even McDonald's, fucking Dunkin' Donuts, you know, they throw away tons of food.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a problem. I don't agree with it. One thing though that I recently found out is that Little Caesars actually will give away their food if you ask them, like, hey, you guys have free food or whatever. They'll actually give it away.
For real?
They'll give it away. And in some parts, some cities, they'll actually leave it outside for the homeless to take.
Wow.
I just found this out a couple of days ago, bro.
Wow, shout out.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, W Little Caesars.
Because I found this out, like, because there was like I think it was a YouTube short of some dude saying, is it true that Little Caesars does this? And he did it and it worked.
Oh, he pulled up?
He pulled up and he asked and it worked. Like, it actually worked, and they gave him a shit ton of food. And I did some more research, and apparently, yeah, in some areas, and with Little Caesars, they do that, and they leave them outside for the homeless and shit.
What the fuck?
W Little Caesars,
W
man.
Little Caesars, bro.
I did
If only
not
they would
fucking
just
know that.
cut their pizzas better.
What the
That's the
fuck?
problem. I haven't had Little Caesars in so long.
Yeah, dude.
but
Every time I have Little Caesars,
I heard it's no
remember
longer $5 though.
Fuck no.
Right? It's no longer $5 anymore.
But when I would have it, bro, like, oh, let me get a slice. You pick up the whole pizza, and it's like, bro,
They don't cut.
They don't cut these bitches well, bro. And then you try to cut it, and it's like an
Have you
uneven
tried
cut.
their Detroit style pizza?
No, have not.
Fire. Oh, shit.
I don't know what we're eating tonight.
Little Caesars. I haven't had Little Caesars in a minute. I mean,
Hey, go ahead. You guys will like it. Trust me.
But
That's cool, dude. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
I wish more restaurants would do that.
absolutely,
Looking out for
bro.
the community.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, the amount of food that's wasted every day.
Oh, the one I knew about was
Dude.
Dunkin'. I know how they get at a certain time they
Oh.
throw away all their donuts. I'm like, damn,
Oh, for
bro,
sure.
like what the fuck?
For sure.
Just pull up like
And, so,
240
and
clothes.
obviously they don't. There's sometimes if you ask them, they'll actually give you some free donuts or maybe give you whatever. But they have to do it on the low or else they get fired.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
bet.
But
But
there was times where I actually asked like for free donuts.
You got it?
Yeah, they would
No
give you some.
way, that's
They'd give you
raw.
like a dozen
Wow, that's cool.
or like half a dozen and shit.
Oh,
but they'll
no.
just be like, just
Don't tell
just-
anyone.
Yeah, they'll just do it. They'll just do it on the low. They're like, oh, just pull ahead over there,
Uh-huh.
you know,
All right.
because obviously they can't do that.
Mhm.
But
Oh, hell
anyway,
no.
yeah, where we're at, Mario.
All right, so basically this episode basically ends with the clock turning into 11 p.m. and Sydney is just standing there. She looks frustrated, looks like she's about to cry, and she looks down the street and on the floor there's been a ticket that's been stepped on, which perfectly represents the first month of the restaurant, right? But it's not all bad because in the snippet of this episode we see that the restaurant, the Bear, is getting fantastic reviews. So that kind of keeps her committed to the restaurant, right? And that's how episode 3 ends. And we move on to episode 4 called Violet, which is kind of a change of pace. So in this episode, we basically we get to see about Carmi thinks about pain. The same memory that Claire tells Carmi about a time in the hospital for the Jolly Weekend. A 17-year-old girl came with all cuts over her body. She had fallen onto a glass table and had surgery because they were so slammed. Claire misread the girl's chart, not realizing that she was allergic to penicillin, causing her to go into an anaphylactic. I don't know how you read that. When the girl eventually woke up from her surgery, she couldn't stop laughing. Carmi is confused by this, and Claire explains, I don't think it hurt yet. Which basically just showcases that Claire was looking kind of fucked up too, and they have a similarity between Claire and Carmi, showing how, you know, oddly enough, they're kind of both messed up, but their relationship works, right? Another focal point in this episode is that Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, that's the
Hartnett.
guy. That's the actor who plays her fiance, who we just recently saw on Trap.
Oh, that's
Really?
That's the guy.
that's him.
Serial killer. That's
Ah.
Trap. That's Cooper.
Oh,
That's
him.
him.
Yeah, it's the same dude.
Oh
In
shit!
the Bear?
I didn't even recognize that.
Yeah,
I
bro.
did not recognize him,
Come
bro.
on, you know who you're talking to, bro?
I did not
Oh
recognize
my
him.
I'm
God.
an IMDb website come to life.
That's funny.
Oh my
That's funny. No, I did not recognize him.
I did not recognize it either. But we also get to see here that even though the Bear is up and running now, part of the beef is still there because that makes the most money for the restaurant. Is the beef?
I was wondering what that was, bro, because that's where we see Edu. Is that his name?
I can look it up.
Because I know it's spelled EDU, and that's the dude that was in seasons 1 and 2, the guy that was part of the beef. Remember, I said last season 2, I gave a 9. And one of my biggest issues was that he was part of the team in season 1. Then in season 2, like, him and Tina get sent out to that culinary class.
And he quits. Yes.
And he quits. And we don't really know what happened to him afterwards. And I'm like, bro, whatever happened to that guy?
That was okay. So
Abraham.
This
guy? You're talking about this guy?
Yes.
That's his name.
Wait, okay.
Ibrahim.
So the beef is still a thing next to the bear.
Yes, and the beef
I was
is what
wondering-
makes
I was
money.
wondering what the fuck that was, or if that was flashback.
No,
Like, what the
no,
fuck am I
me
watching?
too.
They kept
Me
it up
too.
and running because they wanted to keep part of the beef alive, and it makes the most money.
Dude,
For
I
them.
was
Yeah,
like,
that
what
makes
the
sense.
fuck is this, like, sandwich shop shit?
I thought it was like some flashbacks, bro.
I was like, no, a part of me was like, is this just some, like, side quest shit? Like, what the fuck is this? But I did not know what that was.
Okay,
bro.
that's interesting. Okay, that's cool.
I do want to mention, since we're on the topic, if you don't mind. So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ibrahim, right? So, if you remember, Ibrahim was kind of part of the team. He was part of the cooking team, the staff in season 1. He was, like, part of, like, the crew and whatever. If you remember, Hector, when we did the HRV Awards, I said that season 2, I gave a 9 out of 10 instead of a perfect 10 like season 1. Because he takes a back seat, and it's like, he kind of, like, disappears and does his own thing or whatever. Like, he was supposed to go to that culinary school with Tina, and it's like, he quits, and then you don't really know what happens to him till the last episode. He decides to come back to the bear on opening night, launch night, and Tina just kind of forgives him for, like, bitching out and quitting or whatever. He comes back in, and I was like, whatever happened to him, bro? Like, I was more worried. I'm, like, frustrated that I didn't know what happened with his story. Here, I think what they do is now they double down on that, because now he's not even part of the story anymore. He's kind of a side quest. He's literally, like Mario said, running a small portion of the beef over to the side of the building, and he doesn't really have that many scenes. So they double down on that and make him take a back seat. So now he's not even so much a main character anymore. He's just a side character, borderline fucking cameo.
And it's just because, like, I think,
and I don't know if I'm gonna say something crazy right now.
Okay.
I didn't time it. I didn't calculate it. Someone Google it. Someone correct me. Fucking John Cena, I think, was a cameo. Like, he was in one episode, but I think even he had more screen time than Ibrahim in this show.
I think he did. I think he did.
And that's crazy, because I'm like, damn, this motherfucker was part of the team season 1.
To be fair, though, Ibrahim, I feel like, even though, yes, he was part of the team in season 1, he wasn't really fleshed out as everyone else.
I agree.
And I think that's the reason why I don't have like an issue.
I agree.
You know, I don't have an issue.
I think the writers realized that, like,
yeah,
you know, there are other stories and character developments to be crafted.
Yeah, and so it didn't really bug me that he wasn't in here that much, because it was well established that he wasn't that big part of it either way in the first season. And not only that, I also do like that it's kind of, they're touching on, okay, so we talked about how it touches, like, the real life restaurant shits, right? And even how people operate. Another thing that they touch on is how some people just, I'm gonna be honest, even though it's kind of fucked up, are not really cut out for change like that. And sometimes they don't want to follow through, you know. And that's one thing that they do show in this season, or even in the show in general, where, hey, there are, like, don't get me wrong, there's some people that just don't want change, bro, and just can't do it.
That's facts.
And this is one of those characters that unfortunately falls under that category. But I do like that it kind of showcases it. But yeah, overall, it didn't bother me that he wasn't in it as much.
So for me, it didn't bother me either. I think what would have bothered me is if he had more screen time in the show, but they don't flesh out the character like what happened with him in season 2. Because to me, I'm like, okay, the writers are clearly just bringing him in because he's been a day one from season 1.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to write this character. So he's still coming up on the show, and we see these little side glimpses of him, like, at the shop, but, like, we don't know anything about his story. I know a few episodes from now we'll get to it. We have a Tina flashback episode. We see Sid and her journey, Carmi's journey, Richie and his daughter, and him having to get over the fact that his ex is getting married soon, and, you know, Uncle Jimmy losing money. Like, everyone has a story but him. So I think I would have had an issue if they were like, bro, he's back in the show, but they don't do anything new with him. He's just still kind of there. So what I like that they did is that the writers committed. Either you make him a character or you don't. And they committed with, you know what? He's not a character anymore. We're going to make him a side character, and you only see quick glimpses of him. We're not going to give him character development or whatever the fuck. Okay, at least you committed. Because in season 2, it felt like the writers didn't know what to do with Ibrahim, so they write him out the show for episodes where he quits the culinary school, and you don't see him again until the end of the show. And it's like, well, where were you for 4 episodes? Here, the writers, I feel like, made the commitment of like, you know what? Rather than just writing him out the show or like having him disappear for 4 episodes, let's just have him downgrade to a minor side character instead of having him be a main character like the rest of them.
And it shows their values too, because I like that how they portray the bear and like the whole team as like family. And Carmen understood that, hey, you know what, Ibrahim maybe he's not cut out for this, and that's fine. I'm not just gonna fire him. I think I have something that he could do for me, and that's him being on the side shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I actually do like the values. But yeah, I definitely agree with what you said, Hav. But it's okay. So are we still on?
We're near the end. Basically, we have a moment between Natalie and Richie where Natalie basically asks Richie, like, "Hey, what's it like being a dad to a daughter?" And asking for advice and shit. And basically, he basically tells her, like, "I have no advice to give you." But Richie asked Natalie if, like, hey, should I leave Ava's, like, should I step out on Ava's life? Basically saying, like, should I be involved in my daughter's life anymore? Because we find out that Richie, his ex-wife, were they married? Or, like, his past relationship, she's getting married.
I don't know if they were married before. I mean, they had the kid together. I mean, that Christmas episode, when they were still together and we found out she was pregnant, doesn't really
I don't know if they were married or not.
They were married. I don't think.
So basically, his last girl, we find out that she's getting married to her new husband, and that Frank can see when he goes to drop her off, when he's talking to him, it's like, yo, he has a nice ass crib, good ass job. He's a great person. I'm nothing compared to him. Am I worthy enough to still be in my daughter's life? Like, does she need me?
Yeah.
And Natalie says, like, no, it would be really weird if you stopped popping up in her life. And so basically Natalie tells her, like, no, you got to be in your kid's life. And one question I want to ask you is, like, why do you think Richie was feeling that way? And do you think do you think him feeling that way was necessary? Because with me, it's one of more things where, like, bro, like, why are you doubting yourself? Like, you should be proud about what you're doing. You know what I mean?
And I think that just fits his character, man, because even... He was always a type of person that would doubt himself. I mean, he was even doubting himself, like when he was sent to that restaurant to perfect his skills. You know what I mean? I think that's just part of his character, where he finally has some confidence in his work field. Now he's trying to develop confidence in his actual life and people around him. His personal life,
yeah.
You know, and that's just I like that about Richie. But it does kind of like, I don't know. It's something that I think I would have felt like if I had my daughter and, like, oh, my ex-wife or my ex-girlfriend is with someone, like, why would I not be in my daughter's life? You know what I mean? It's just some real demons that man's fighting or something to think that way. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, I just personally would never think that way. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna be in my daughter's life, bro, regardless of how I feel.
Well, like Mario said, he realized that this dude had a nice house, has more money and shit. He probably realized that this dude could easily replace me.
That's true. Yeah.
He could be a better father figure for my daughter. But obviously the girl reiterates, like, no, like, you should still.
How do you feel about him getting invited to the wedding?
And, like, oh, and the wife and the girl wanting him,
like, I want you there. I'm gonna be honest, I took that as disrespect. How dare I watch a more handsome man than me fuck my ex girl? You got me fucked.
It's like, look, this, like, how imagine, like, you go, and I understand why Richie doesn't want to go.
Yeah,
because it's like you're watching someone else live your dream. I don't know, man, but it can't be me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I can't, like, dude, if he does go, and if it's for the daughter, I mean, I understand, but, dude, that must suck, going to someone else's wedding that was supposed to be yours. Or, like, this is like assuming he wasn't married. I can't remember if they said.
I don't remember either.
But let's say he's not, right? Then that would absolutely suck, and it's like gut wrenching. He's like, bro, like, you eat it, like, they're eating the cake and shit. You eating my cake. That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like a shitty type of feeling. And her wanting to be there, I think it's just out of respect of, like, oh, you are a big part of my life because, you know, we have a daughter together, and I'm showing you respect by inviting you because, you know, you're the father of my kid, you know, and it's for her too. I'm not gonna try to push you away from my kid's life. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's just a respect that way. But I definitely understand why Richie doesn't want to go, but that's a good question. Should he go or not?
It's just, I don't think I would, man.
if we're going with the themes here about like about acceptance of the past and like trying to move forward, I think it would fit his character that he would go.
Mm-hmm.
If we're following with the themes in this season and his character development, I think it would work for him.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about that. Me personally, though, since I'm not going through the shit he's going through, that's crazy.
Yeah,
got me fucked up.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
It's just disrespect. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
Hell no. But yeah, man, that's basically how that episode ended. And we're on episode.
No, girl, hold on, girl.
You got one more thing?
Yeah, girl, hold on.
Go ahead.
Outside of the train, right? Sydney gets stopped by that Adam Shapiro guy, right? Isn't this Army episode? Yeah.
Oh, where he gets where?
Don't you remember?
I read that, but it didn't seem like that's where it happened. It just seemed like they just talked about it. Like they just talked like, hey, your restaurant, this like it's cool, whatever the fuck.
What? Really?
I don't think this is where they had that breakfast thing. Isn't that another episode? Or am I tripping?
Is it?
This might be the conversation where they meet up.
Oh yeah, they meet up, right? They meet up,
but they didn't have that dinner. That brunch or whatever the fuck they had.
Oh yeah, they just said, they just say we want to talk. Like, it's cool if we could get some food or just talk or
that's
whatever.
What it was.
And then adding on to like the character with Sydney goes back to the bear, right? And this is Carmen where he's like obsessive, like looking at, what should we do? Coming up with something. Sydney suggests something, and Carmen's like, nah. Like he just says,
I'm gonna do my
we're
own
gonna do
thing.
it this. We're gonna do it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a hoe.
We're gonna do our own. I'm gonna do my own thing. Yeah. And then this is a part where it's just snowballing with Sydney of like,
it's like, bro.
Why don't I have a say on this?
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, being offered the position to co-sign.
That too, yes.
But she doesn't really feel like a co-owner.
Exactly.
If her ideas keep getting shot down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the episode ends with the biggest fucking bomb of the fucking episode, in my opinion. And that is where they find out that there's going to be a public newspaper publication that wants to make a review of the bear. And they're like, oh shit, well we should probably we got to make this review could get us customers. It could be really good for us. Let's prepare. And then they find out they already came.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they didn't even realize in that month of chaos of them trying to get the restaurant off the ground and making new dishes every day, blah blah blah. That person already came and had the review.
That's
up.
sneaky,
bro.
That's sneaky, man.
And they were like, they look at each other. They're like, oh shit, and then cut to black. And I was like, oh my fucking
That's
God,
crazy,
bro. What the fuck? And then they were like, the publisher wants to come in and take a picture of the duck dish he ate. Motherfucker, which one?
Which duck dish?
Dude,
Which one?
That made me so mad. I'm like, this is why we don't change menus.
That
bro.
proves Sydney's point when they were like, we're gonna do a new menu every day, and how she was saying like,
but like also on paper, that shit fire though.
On paper, yeah.
That's like a Michelin star shit. Like the whole menu every day.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
That's like on some next level.
No, that's true. That is true.
But like it does suck because like, dang, I really like this dish. I can't eat it again.
I can't eat it again. And the thing is, they don't even log their shit. Like, oh well, 3 weeks ago on a Monday,
that's smart.
See that? Because they didn't do that. They're just because if you remember, in the episode, Sydney comes in and Carmi's like, "Hey, what do we do with this dish?" I say, well, I think we should do this. Like, nah, fuck that. We're gonna do it like this, my way, right? But he doesn't write it down. He doesn't like, you know what I mean? He just like, okay, here's a duck. What's all the different ways that we can make a duck, right? Because we're gonna have to make a different version for 7 days this week, and they change it. You know what I mean? So at least I think if restaurants out there really do this, change the menus,
for sure.
They would fucking log it. And be like, well, when did you come and visit us? Well, I came on the 13th of February. Okay, bet. And then you look, oh, the duck dish that he ate was the we even have a picture of it. You know what I mean?
That'd be fire.
That'd be smart as fuck.
Fire,
but because they're not doing that, they're fuck. They're like, what duck dish?
Yep, that'd be fire, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I would just bribe him and give him a copy of Duck Hunt. Like, how about this, Duck? Give me a good review.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we at, Mario?
All right, so right now we're at the beginning of episode 5, right? We get an opening with Natalie as she's like basically shows her morning routine, making recalling memories with Mikey and others of Marcus, right? But I guess like the big thing that happens here is that we see Sydney supporting Marcus as Carmi is at the restaurant prepping while Sydney spends time with Marcus. She helps him to clean out his mom's house. Afterwards, we get a little, I guess, resolution somewhat to what, like, their relationship with each other, because in the past 2 seasons, like there's been something brewing, and in season 2 something went off where like they had a bit of like a little bit of a beef. Funny enough, right? And here they mention it where Marcus apologizes for making things awkward between them, and Sydney, clearly feeling awkward, still doesn't want to talk about it. They briefly talk about their parents, and they agree that it's scary relying on people. And
is it because he tried making a move on her?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like season 2, something happened where he tried making a move, and it just went south, and it made their relationship awkward. And here's kind of yeah, I know, because like I get like secondhand embarrassment, even though I'm not fucking in it, bro. I don't know why. I've always been like that. I'm just like, fuck, bro.
Dude, real quick, I saw this movie years ago. It was a high school movie, and it focuses on this one girl. And there's a scene where this kid invites her out on a date, and they go to a carnival, and they're on the Ferris wheel. You can't stop a Ferris wheel when it's going, it's going. It stops when it stops. God. And during the Ferris wheel, the dude tries to go in for a kiss, and the girl's like backs off, like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I'm sorry." Like, it gets awkward, and the guy's like, "Yo, can you stop the ride? I'm trying to get." And he literally yells out there like, "Yo, stop the fucking ride!" And the girl's laughing at him. Dude, that's what that scene reminded me of.
No, but the girl's laughing. That'd be ace. Like, I mean, that's W, no?
Yeah.
That means you're still in there. Yeah. Right?
Well, he's being weird about it, but he's like yelling, like, "Yo, stop the fuck."
Yeah, but if she's laughing, then that means, like, it wasn't that bad then.
Yeah. But he's like, yeah, oh no, of course. But the dude yelling and
that is crazy. Yeah. No, stop the fucking ride. Stop the fucking ride.
Dude, that scenes like that. So funny. I know what he's talking about in season 2. Like that scene, I hate seeing scenes like that in movies. I'm like, bro.
Nah, Mario fuck with it. Mario was like, he just like me for real. This shit relatable as fuck.
It's relatable to both of you motherfuckers. Don't lie.
This shit relatable. He's more relatable than Spider-Man. No, but anyway.
But no, we also find out in this episode that Chef Terry, who is that British lady.
Oh yes.
Carmi finds out in an article that he sees on his phone that she's closing down her restaurant for good, and this sends Carmi into a panic, because then he starts to doubt, can he pull off the bear? Because Chef Terry was one of those restaurants that we see in the first episode where he's on his journey of becoming a professional chef, that she played a pivotal role in his journey. And so this obviously very much affects him, and I think it's a very cool scene. For me personally, what do you guys think about that scene when he finds this out?
Go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was a cool moment in the show, because I knew how much, I get the guy with the glasses, forgot his name. Obviously, he's the most important one because he gave
the money.
No. The guy with the chef. The one that's like, oh, you're terrible chef.
Oh, Joel McHale's character.
Yeah, him. I didn't know his name. Like, obviously, he's the most important one for bad reasons, obviously. Right. But for me, I think the one that was the best for him was Chef Terry.
Right.
And that's why I think this scene is important, because this one probably felt the most heartfelt. Because I think Chef Terry, for me, I don't know if you agree with me, for me felt the most like a mother figure for him, because his real life mom was
issues there.
There was issues there. And Chef Terry, that's kind of like the connection I made, where I'm just like, you know what, this hurts him, because like that's kind of like the mom he always wanted but never got.
But also on top of that, like you said, he had that other chef, the one that was an asshole to him. Yep. For him, he's probably also thinking like, damn.
I think he's the most important one, but like I said, for bad reasons.
No, right. But what I'm saying is, like, maybe what also fucked him up was the realization that of the two mentors that he had in his life, one was a really good one and one was a really shitty one. And the one that was always good to him and perfected his craft or whatever is the one with the closing restaurant. So in a sense, like, the bad guy wins because his restaurant is still up and thriving. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, and that's where it ties in back to, like, the self-doubt of, like, well, I'm here trying to do good. Can this restaurant, like Chef Terry, can this restaurant thrive? Or is the secret to a thriving restaurant
is becoming
another Joel McHale? That's why it kind of ties into his character and being berating and being very obsessive and being kind of an asshole to his own staff about the non-negotiables and changing the menus and the debt that they're going themselves in. Like, maybe he's slowly regressing into that version of a chef that he doesn't want to be. But like, you know, like you said, him reading the article, oh shit, the restaurant's closing down, kind of is like another self-reflection theme where he's like, which do I commit to? What works and what doesn't? You know what I mean? All of that rolled into one.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, I really like that scene. But another thing that we get to see here is that Carmi actually admits that he's spending too much money when he's talking to Natalie. And then Natalie's basically like sympathetic towards him, like, you know what, I kind of played a part in it too, right? And we also get another scene with Richie and that girl Jessica, who's a server at Chef Terry's restaurant. I don't know if you remember her. You remember her?
Yes.
Hey, man, out of all the relationships, bro, I want that one to happen the most. I
Richie?
want to see Richie win, bro.
Yeah,
I'm like, no,
needs
Richie.
some love, man.
Yeah, I'm like, Richie, get it. You get it with her, bro. Come on, I need this. The streets need this, right? But no, Richie's basically on a phone call with Jessica, saying like, yo, what happened? Like, why is she cooling down? Because for Rich, you got to remember that's where Richie, I guess, trained. I can just say it. And so there's some meaning for that restaurant with him, and it's meaningful. And when he found out it was cooling down, it affected him, right? And we find out that Chef Terry just woke up one day and she said like, fuck it, I'm done.
She just didn't want to do it no more.
She just didn't want to do it no more. And he said like, is she depressed? No. Like, no. And Jessica tells like, no, she's doing great. She just...
And we find that out at the very end of the last episode. Like what her reason was.
Yeah, bro.
But
yeah, that sucks. But and this is the episode where we see John Cena.
Fire.
This is the John Cena appearance where he shows up and he's... I forget. Is he related to the brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, he's a fact.
Okay.
He's a fact.
All right, because here's the thing.
this is the most comedic episode, I would say.
Oh, fuck yeah, because this is where they started with the
fact,
haunting and shit. And I'll be honest with you, the haunting shit confused the fuck out of me. Did it confuse you guys at first?
No. I kind of figured when they talked about it a little bit more, I was like, oh, I get what they're saying.
What about you?
I mean, at first I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was dumb. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Like, what does it make sense? But I get what they're saying when they're talking about, oh, like, I'm gonna haunt you, like meaning like
I'm gonna hold this grudge on you.
hold this grudge on
I'm gonna
you.
keep fucking with you
until
you admit that you're wrong or you apologize or whatever.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
All right. And so while that is going on, Frank's in there to buffer the floors or whatever to make sure, because they're taking photos of the food for the Chicago Tribune for their review, right? Yeah. And while that's going on, right, the Uncle Jimmy, if I remember his name correctly, basically called in his buddy.
Dude, this guy's fire.
They call him the computer.
The computer.
They call. I didn't. Someone called him. I think Sydney called him by his real name or something.
Like, hey man, it was like, hey, it's like.
I'm gonna see if I can find his name.
It's gonna be computer.
His actual name. I highly doubt it, but let's see.
No,
but either way,
anyway, yeah.
But what's it called? He brings him in because like, hey man, I need to know the exact fucking numbers, and I know nobody better than this guy. His nickname is a computer, and basically he's just running down all the financials for the restaurants and like, hey, why the fuck are you spending $3,000 on fucking forks? Like, or I don't know, that's a lot. I'm just giving you an example.
No, you're right though. They mentioned something about silverware, and it's like, what the fuck are they on about, dude? That's fucking OD.
Yep. I forgot. Do you guys remember who he mentioned? Is like, why do you guys need this? And I think Natalie said like, no, we can't.
He's talking about Marcus.
Oh, the dessert guy.
Yes.
Like, no, you're not firing Marcus.
And she like went kind of like scary mode. She was
like, no,
you do not like you do anything, I will fucking kill you where you stand or whatever the fuck. And he's like, all right, just making sure.
There you go.
It was Marcus, bro.
All right.
If it would have been Abraham, I'd been like, yeah, take him. If I was that, I'd been like, you know what? I'll pull a Deadpool, break the fourth wall, and be like, even the writers don't know what to do with them. Take them.
Oh man, that's crazy.
But yeah, no, it was Marcus. It was the dessert guy.
All right, and then after that, the photographer comes in, and the Fact brothers are basically asking him like, hey man, like, what's good? Like, what's his review saying? Like slide some shit over for me real quick. Like, I'm trying to see that.
Hey man, they don't tell me these things, bro.
Would y'all do that? I would do that if I was them. Trying to figure out.
What the review
said. I'm doing whatever the fuck to find out.
The photographer's like, dude, I'm just a photographer, man. Like,
but eventually he does know some shit though. Remember, I forgot what he says. Yeah, remember how he does say something.
Yeah, he does.
I forgot what he says, but he says some shit, and they're like, whoa, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That
my
shit
thing is like,
I find funny, but when it does drag on a little bit, I do notice it. But but I get why they're.
Oh no, I think he mentions like what
the day it's coming out or some shit like that.
No, I think like what dish he reviewed, right? Like one of the
was
dishes.
it that? I'm trying to so fucking hard to remember, but I can't remember right. But then we get the episode ends with Carmen looking through some of his old stuff. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention something. A cool moment with Marcus. It's when he's talking. He goes into the office where Natalie has her desk and whatever the fuck, and he asks to see some of Carmi's old books about when he traveled around the world, right, for his journey, right. And he picks one, and there's a violet, like the flower violet, right. And he gets inspired by that because his late mother's favorite flower was a violet. So that inspires him to make a new dessert revolving around that flower. And I thought that was a little cool, like homage that he's gonna do with his mom. And I think that was a very cool moment for his character, right? So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. I think it was something really cool for him. But like I was saying, Carmi looks through some of his old stuff in the back rooms, pulling out a notebook. He then notices a box. He pulls out the box and opens it up, which contains some belongings that maybe belong to Mikey. He finds family photos showing Mikey and Donna and what could be Carmi. There are multiple baby photos, and he seems to look through them with fondness. And basically, it's reflecting about his all that shit. I want
to bring up some stuff that we kind of passed.
Go ahead.
It kind of like foreshadows, because there's a moment where I think what Carmen is asking Nat if she's called mom, because obviously the whole baby situation, and Nat just replies, "Well, have you called Claire?" And then they just both like just stay quiet, you know.
Like, you know what? You got my ass.
And and this is like the start where, okay, they're slowly gonna start, trying to rebuild these types of relationships. So that part I wanted to mention. Then we're looking at the Carmen's past, right? I don't know what do you guys think when the computer was suggesting to like fire Marcus?
Oh, we kind of did touch about it.
We touched on that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay.
we did. We just basically said like how Natalie shut it the fuck down. It's like, no, you're not touching Marcus.
Man, we can't
like fuck off.
Man. Marcus.
Hell, no, that'd be some bullshit. Bro.
Imagine if they did.
No, I would actually be pissed. I would be pissed.
I would have crashed out.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have made for good TV.
It would have. But I still feel bad for Marcus.
Don't say that.
What do you mean? I'm not saying like get rid of him because it makes the show better. I think it would just build more drama.
Yeah, I know that.
And more controversy into the show. That's when I made the joke like you could take Ibrahim.
Oh, but that wouldn't make any drama because no one gives a fuck.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'd break the fourth wall and be like, the writers don't know what to do with him, bro.
All right,
him, bro.
So that was episode 6.
Mm-hmm. And then this next episode, right? Basically, is kind of centered around Tina. We see her life.
Fire episode.
Her life before the bear, right? We see her life before the beef.
Before she gets involved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We see that. Go ahead.
Is this the first time that we hear about her having a husband and a kid? Because I don't remember her ever mentioning this in the other episodes.
I don't know about a husband, but I think a kid. Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Because
I could have sworn we heard about the kid before.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Where he's like my son, shit like that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know about the husband, but I'm pretty sure we did hear about the kid.
Okay.
But no, we basically find out that she's been working at a job for 15 years and she gets fired. And she goes on this whole journey of finding a job and nobody wants to hire her.
First, she goes for like similar jobs, jobs that she got let go from. Then she gets so desperate she starts applying anywhere now.
And you basically get to see how the world changed because in those 15 years, now jobs require a degree. And I forgot who it was specifically, but she's like, "But I know how to do the job." I'm like, "Yes, but you don't have a degree that you need."
Yeah,
but I know how to do it though.
There was a job that she was actually gonna get, but then when they asked about a degree or something, she said, "Oh, I don't have that." Well, you can't get the job because you're not certified or whatever.
And so she basically, for me, this is my second favorite episode because I don't know. I feel like because I don't know what ethnicity she is, but I know she's Hispanic, right? I don't know specifically what. I just related to more thinking about my mom and shit and the struggles she had to go through finding jobs, right? But this episode is probably my second favorite, but we see that she struggles to get a job, right? She gets denied to the point where she's like, fuck, I need some food. Let me get some food. And she heads to the beef. And that's where she sees Richie for the first time. She sees Mikey. Mikey, I was about to say, I forgot his name.
And
Fack. And Fack was there too. That he was there too. And what's it called? She asked for a cup of coffee or something like that. That's all she wanted, and Richie gives them a free free food basically, and she takes it. She sits down, and she obviously she feels defeated. She feels worthless. She feels every negative emotion you could possibly feel in that moment because she has rent that needs to get paid. That apparently the rent just got raised for her. Her husband, has a job, but he keeps talking about this promotion that she thinks will never happen, that he's never going to get it. So she wants to work. She wants to help out, right? And here she is.
Just imagine, like, I know that it doesn't touch on it, but imagine, like, your wife, like, that thinks that way about you. Like, yeah, he's not gonna get the promotion, even though he talks about it a lot. It's like, damn,
That's fucked. Yeah, I know.
kind of sad, man.
That would
That's sad,
motivate
man.
me even more, man. I'm like, no, I need
No,
to
for
fuck
sure.
that
But
guy.
obviously, I
know.
don't think he knows.
Yeah,
it's just
I know.
their thoughts.
Yeah,
But-
I know what you mean. But she basically takes a bite and she starts to break down. And Richie sees that she's breaking down. Not Richie, Mikey. My bad, Mikey. Well, they both see it because they're both in the room, I think.
Well, they're all fucking around in the
Yeah,
arcade.
they're just fucking
And
around in the
It's a
arcade.
typical fashion, like how chaotic it is, and then Richie's kind of being a bitch, like, "Yo, bro, we can't have some random bitch crying in here. Like, get her out, like, fucking."
And then
Richie.
Mikey's just like, "Yo, calm the fuck down, bro." And then Mikey pulls up and says like, and they just start talking. Like
just
two
have that
random people's like,
conversation.
"Hey, man, life fucking sucks, right?" Like, I think Mikey says like, "I fucking hate this restaurant, but it brings me a lot of joy in terms of like working with the people. Like, look at this. Like, I got this. I need to fix. The fucking toilet got clogged up or some shit like that. I forgot what he said specifically. But I don't know if it was in this episode or not. So I'm afraid to say it. But I don't think
What do
it
you mean?
is. Where is this where Mikey offers her?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is okay. I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
before I said it, because Mikey finds out that Tina needs a job, and Tina's like, I know how to work a kitchen. I can learn or whatever the fuck, right? Mikey's like, hey, come work with us, and so that's how she gets the job at the Beef. And
that's
for,
it, yeah.
yeah, man. Like I said, this is my second favorite episode of the season. I don't know about you guys. What you guys overall
I
thoughts
love
about
this.
this
Se-
episode?
I mean, I love this episode.
It was a good
too.
episode. I loved it.
Oh, really? What were your main takeaways?
They didn't show the kid.
The kid? No, I better say they only reference him.
I'm like, but and then she only ever references him. It was a boy, right?
I
think
think
so.
so.
Yeah, right. The son. But he's always off screen. It's like, hey, turn the music down. I already told you to turn it down. And a part of me was like, why are they hiding the kid? And my guess is that season 4, they're gonna show the kid. But at the time, they didn't know what actor to get him.
Probably.
So they're gonna wait till season 4 or something like that. I kind of attribute it to like the boys. How in the boys you see Homelander's kid, but then if you notice in season 2 they changed the child actor to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
So I think I see it like that. Like maybe in season 4 we're gonna see the son, but they didn't have an idea as to which child actor is gonna come and play the kid, so they have him off screen for now. That's how I took it. And I was waiting for them to show the kid, and it's gonna be like a reveal. It's gonna be like, oh shit, it's like how like John Cena made a cameo appearance or something like that, but they just never showed him. So I was like, interesting. Did they ever show? I can't remember. Did they ever show like, are they still together, Tina and the husband?
I think so, right, Hector?
What?
They're still together, Tina and her husband. Yeah, right. I think
think
I'm pretty
so,
sure.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still together. Yeah.
Because like I said, like since this is the first time I ever hear about her personal life, I don't know if they're still around while we're in the present time. You know what I mean?
No, I'm pretty sure they're still around.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm like 80% sure they're still together.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode's fire, man. I like it, man. Especially the conversation that Mikey and Tina have.
Yeah.
Just how Mikey says like.
It's like
How Mikey's like super proud of Carmen and says the part that hit me. I'm like, damn. Is like Carmen has a dream and he's following, and I don't think I'll ever have that. Like it's so weird that there's people out here that know what they want to do, and they follow it, and I'm here like just here. I don't even know.
like I'm living.
Yeah, and you could kind of see that. I guess Tina kind of feels the same way, and that that she also feels kind of lost at the moment with her situation, and yeah, man, I thought the entire scene with Mikey and Tina, man, was fire, man. That's it.
All right, that's good. So that basically wrapped up that episode. We're now on episode 7. And this one's called Legacy, right? And basically we get a scene here with Sydney sitting at her apartment when she gets a text out of nowhere from Adam Shapiro. And this is the scene we were talking about. And basically they meet up at a restaurant, whatever the fuck, right? And they're talking about just random things, the bear, all this and that. And then this basically leads up to Adam dropping a bomb on Sydney, where Adam's like, hey, I kind of want to open up a restaurant and I want to offer you the position of head chef. And she's like, huh?
Yeah.
She's completely caught off guard. And what makes it more intriguing, where it makes Sydney already question herself even more to the bear, is that she's like, how much would you pay me? I got a blank check. Whatever number you want, I'll give it to you. That's crazy.
And she'll have the ability to like make her own menu and stuff.
That's
and feels like she's actually part of the restaurant, whereas she's not feeling that way in the Bear. So something.
I don't know, bro. That's something I was about to ask you guys that. Like, would you take it then and there, or like, would you need some time to think about it?
I would think about it.
I would think about
it.
Especially
the shit that you've been through.
Yeah, obviously you would think about it, but like, assuming you thought about it and giving her situation, would you take it?
How much money we talking?
It's a blank check.
It's a blank
bro.
check, girl. You choose.
You're the head chef, bro.
Too much is too much. Like if I say like $300K, that'd be like all right. He'd be like, all right, bro, come on. This is the limit.
Nah, but you can easily ask for like around 100.
Well, here's the thing.
For those fancy restaurants,
Bear, girl. It's not like you're making money. In fact, you're losing money. So really, $1's profit. So really, anything goes.
He said $1 profit. That's funny. No, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you would. I don't.
If I realize that Carmi is getting power hungry and he's shooting down all my dish ideas, and we're losing money, and it's like hella stressful, and like he's trying to do all these non-negotiable shits, and it's like they're offering me the option to co-sign as co-owner, but I don't feel like it, and they keep shooting down my ideas. I'm gonna go someplace where I feel appreciated, and plus I get to choose how much money I make. Like that blank check, it could be whatever I want. I would take it. Fuck yeah. Then again, Sid's a better person than me.
True that. Hey man, what the fuck? He just said he's leaving. Me, I don't think I would. I think I can. Like I feel like, because I would feel like I feel like a family, and it's like nah, man. I can't just. I can't just abandon all this, man. Like we gonna make it work, and when it works, it's gonna pay off.
How should I say?
That's just me, though.
I think.
All right, so he would. I wouldn't. Mario, what about you? Would you?
It just depends on the scenario, bro. In the scenario in the show right now, I wouldn't leave because the job's not done. Okay. In a sense, like because they're chasing that star. Okay. They want to be one of the best restaurants in the world, right? Mm-hmm. I would stay there until we get that star, or until I feel like no, I finally did what I set out to do with Carmi. Then after that, I would be like, all right, bet I want to do my own thing.
But wouldn't she already assume that? Let's say they do get that star. It's not to say that if they do get that good review from the Chicago Tribune and they do get the Michelin star, that Carmi will now be like, okay, y'all, we can stop now. Let's go back to just regular menus every week.
No, absolutely not.
He will keep going. Therefore, they will continue to lose money. It will continue to be chaotic. And
well, no, with this review, though, actually, it's a breakthrough, though. Because if it's a good review, more people would go.
Mm-hmm. True.
And then they'll start making profit. They wouldn't lose money.
And they'll be one step closer to that star.
That's true.
I don't know. It's just for me. It's like if I signed up knowing like, hey, we're trying to get a star, and I left. I left halfway through that process. I would feel like, bro, I kind of let them down, and I let myself down because I said I wanted to do that. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying like where the story's at right now, I wouldn't. But if I were to have the star and I set out, if we did what we set out to do, then I was like, you know what, hey Carmi, like, listen, bro, we did what I.
What? Okay, I secured the star and I secured the bag. Now I'm leaving.
Well, it's kind of for me. It's like, hey, I'm talking about Sydney herself, not the whole group. She signed up to get that star with Carmi.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So once they get it, I always feel like, yo, bro, she helped him with what she needed to do with, or he needed to do with.
I think the only reason why like she's incentivized to do is because obviously she's not making a lot of money, right? This person's offering money, and a second thing is that this other person's making her like top chef, meaning she's able to do what she wants to do. If she could just communicate with Carmen and just say, hey Carmen, man, like I want to do some dishes, man, I'm out, I think everything would be cool. But for some reason she just doesn't like communicate that with him, you know. But I don't know. I feel like if she was getting paid, obviously, like a decent amount, and she was able to create some of her own dishes, I don't think she would leave. Because she kind of built that shit with Carmen and everyone else, and like they have like a family situation. That's why it's so difficult for her to come up with a decision. But
no, I agree.
Anyway, okay, so that's she gets that news right. All
right, so basically after that, we get a scene with Carmi and Marcus, and they basically just talk about the legacies they want to leave behind, because Marcus is like looking through one of old Carmi's notebooks, and there's a photo in one of those notebooks where there's a picture of a bunch of legendary chefs, right? And Carmi and Marcus ask him like, yo, what do you want to leave behind? Like, what's your legacy? He's like, I just want to leave this without anxiety free, right? And basically, Sydney walks in wanting no part in this deep ass conversation, right? And basically, we transition to Chunky and Chi-Chi are brought back to the beef to help out with Ibra. Because obviously, when last time we saw, Ibra was struggling, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He was not being able to handle the beef at all, really. Well, he could handle, just he was not doing a good job, right? And so they finally got him help, and now the beef is doing good. They're getting odors out. It's a lot more functional. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a lot more functional, right? Then we get a little conversation that Tina then had a conversation with Nat about motherhood. So they kind of have a conversation about that, right? And then we get a big thing where Sydney's frustration at the bear continues, right? And so we get Nat volunteers to make a run at the restaurant Depot, which I don't know if this is a real thing. Are those real things where like there's like basically like there's stores where like they're designated for restaurants where they can buy supplies in bulk?
I have no idea. It's
one of those things where like,
but like this part, like, I kind of predicted what was gonna happen.
For real?
Yes. Like the whole. I mean, it's the next episode. Can we just say?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Right, where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go," because obviously she has like scares of like, "Oh, she's about to have a baby."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Seafolds by myself or whatever." And me thinking, her water's gonna break over there, dog. And I was like thinking that, and sure enough, that's what happened. But yeah, that's like the next episode, like right the next episode.
All right, so in this moment, right before that, this is where fucking what's it called? Sydney's leaving to go there, right? And she runs in. No, Natalie's leaving, and she runs into Sydney outside. She tells her to sign the partner agreement, to which Sydney responds with a quick "yep." Basically, it's like "yep," yeah, but like that, right? So she basically goes to that fucking like Home Depot, fucking shit for restaurants, and like, guess what happens? And the episode ends with her water breaking, and no one's fucking picking up. So she's in a very, very panicked state, and oh, bro, that's.
No one's picking up, but
dude, that must feel like a nightmare, bro. At that point, bro, I feel like I would call 911 and be like, bro, 911, bro, I can't drive. Get the fuck over and take me to the hospital. But I heard.
But my thing is, like, if you know that, like, you could be going in labor anytime, why go out like that?
That's true.
You know, but anyway, yeah, no one's picking up. So then the last person that she has to rely on is, damn. Go ahead, Mario, say it.
Her mom.
That's crazy, bro.
Who is?
I actually do like that though.
I know, right? But
she has to face her. She has to face her. What is it? I can't say fears.
No, face her anxiety towards her. Face her.
Yeah.
Just her. Oh, there's a word for this, bro. I can't think of it.
Is there?
No, there is. Her. Not judgment. Fuck, I can't think of it. But people out there know what I'm talking about, right? But no, now we're
anyway,
on.
So yeah, we're with the next episode. This entire episode, man, it's just about Donna and Natalie, man. Just in the hospital. Like, it's just about them. What did you guys think about this episode?
It's cool because you see them kind of coming to terms with each other. Yeah. You know, like, hey, mom, like, I was like scared of you, and I didn't want to be around you. Like, I did not want to. Like, you were my last resort. You know, most daughters, their moms are their first resort, not their last. And I think that really was. It was hard to hear, but it was what was needed for their relationship. And the fact that we see the mom kind of be better, like, you could tell, like, she's trying. In the beginning of the episode, like, do the he what I forgot what the fuck she told her to do. Yeah, right. That shit. And how Natalie's like, no, mom, that's fucking stupid. That's not gonna help. And at some point, she does it. She does it, and it actually does help.
I get it, though. She stresses me out, man.
I know.
She ain't even my mom. She out here yapping and shit.
Yeah. No, I can kind of somewhat agree, bro, because we all have Mexican moms, bro. My mom, bro, just be yelling for no reason sometimes.
My mom be yapping, too.
Because she'll like tell me to take out the garbage. I'm like, Mom, why do you have to yell? Just ask me, like, hey, take out the garbage. I'm like, right back. But no, she'd be like, no, take out the fucking garbage. I'd be like, yo, like, calm down. It's just like, the garbage.
Why? Yeah, bro.
I don't know why my mom does that, but did your mom do that, huh?
You know, yeah. And it's a fucking issue. I hate it. Like,
the way he said it's a fucking issue.
Like, it is. Like,
I gotta deal with it.
So no, it's facts, bro. It's like it's just like, you know, you could just tone down the volume. It's like
no need to yell.
Yeah, for real, bro. Like, Oh my god, I hate that shit.
I don't know why it happens, bro. It's like
what's
bro.
something like what's an example?
Yes. Like,
yeah, what's an example?
I don't even know, bro. It's just
Like
one
one
time
time she told me to like lower down the music, and I was like, "Why, Mom? I'm playing Spider-Man 2."
Dumbass.
Like
Sound
Tobey
thing.
Maguire's
Soundtrack.
soundtrack.
sound thing.
It's alone.
Hey, man.
That's a fire.
That's fire.
That's a fire soundtrack.
Dude, it's just what he says, bro. Like asking you to take out the trash or like, doing the dishes or whatever the fuck. And it's like, okay, but
Why yell though?
I'm like 2 feet away from you.
That's crazy.
What the
bro.
fuck?
Dude,
I
yeah.
can hear you fine. Bitch.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Bro. Probably
No,
trauma.
I don't think. No, my mom doesn't yell like that. Like, oh, take out the trash. No. If anything, she doesn't yell. So like, I don't know. Like for example, like if she made food or whatever, she would say it like, oh, food's ready. She want to yell, and I'd go upstairs. I'm like, what the fuck? The food's ready. Is like, yeah, I told you, but you didn't come. I'm like, bro, I didn't hear your ass. One thing she does is she just likes to talk, bro. She just starts yapping. It's like, oh, I don't need this, or maybe I do. Oh, cause then I'm gonna go here and there, like in Spanish.
Oh, so she talks to herself.
Like
thinking out loud.
She thinks out loud, and like, but at the same time she's trying to talk to me, and I'm just not like listening. And I'm like, who the hell are you talking to, Mom? She's like, you. And I'm like, bro, I'm not listening, man. I don't know who you're talking about. You just yapping, bro. She's like my sister, bro. My younger sister. They just think out loud.
That's funny because we see that. I'm like, bro, dude. If I was like Hector, I'd be like, bro, I'd be laughing constantly.
Bro, they just yap. They just yap, bro. They just
Some
give
of
you
the stuff
details.
she says, bro, is
They
funny.
just give you random details like you don't like need to know. It's like, all right, so what?
It's funny though. When I hear it, it makes me laugh, bro.
It's like, I went like at school today. I ate this, and it walks away like, all right. It's like, okay. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's funny as fuck, dude. That's funny.
My birthday's coming up. It's like, it's
I know.
all right. You know what I mean, bro?
Hell no, that's
No, but my
funny
mom,
as
yeah,
fuck.
she should.
It's funny because like Hector's household could just be a sitcom, bro.
Yeah, that's facts.
Nah, man.
That's facts.
Like I feel
bro.
like Hector's household is worse than the bear.
No, hell no. That Thanksgiving episode? No way.
Bro, you know what's crazy?
Remember that
Dude,
Thanksgiving
I call my siblings pussies for this. They said they couldn't watch it in one sitting, that episode.
The bear?
Who?
Yeah. The dinner episode, the Christmas
Your-
dinner
your
one.
siblings?
Yeah, my brother.
Oh,
and
your
sister.
siblings?
Because it gave them too much anxiety or some shit like
Dude,
that.
yeah.
And I get it, but I was like, bruh, come on, you really gotta
Yeah,
split
man.
up the sessions. Like that was funny as fuck.
It's just, yeah, I get you. 'Cause
Like, I
don't
get
know,
it, 'cause
my
it doesn't-
family-
it does
my
give you
family's
that
complete
emotion.
Opposite like that. My family's like very
Chill.
especially my siblings. They're like very like more
Relaxed?
more reserved, a little bit more introverted. They want to do their own thing. I'm kind of the same way as like that. So seeing that family like that, not gonna lie, I was feeling the same way. I'm like, yo, I'm overstimulated. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Especially in the kitchen with the mom. Remember that? Oh,
Yeah.
She's
man.
being hella controlling.
Dude,
And
it was
dude,
crazy.
that's a perfect segue because the reason why Natalie didn't tell her mom about the pregnancy is because she didn't want everything that comes with her.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly,
bro.
man.
And that's that,
tough.
and I think that really opened up the mom's eyes. Like, yo, yeah, I know. Like,
And I'm
was
finally
crazy.
glad like this episode took the time to where they could actually build a relationship because I was expecting that. Obviously, the way how season 2 played out, where Natalie was waiting for her mom to visit the bear, and she never remember she
She did.
She did it.
She did, but she didn't
She
commit.
never.
Yeah,
She
she
never
never
came
went
in.
inside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Pete was there, and and they said, "Hell, just tell her I'm sorry, whatever." So I'm glad that they kind of jumped that hurdle. Now what I'm expecting is, I guess, a better relationship with Carmen next and everyone else. Because so far it's just them two, obviously, and that's because it's that motherly bond that they're going through. That's, I guess, putting them together in the situation, and because like no one answered, right? Not even Carmen or whatever. But yeah, I do like this episode, and that's pretty much it with this episode. Like it's just
They
about
bond.
them bonding, them acknowledging their faults in the past and just overcoming it, and that's pretty much it.
Much needed closure.
Exactly.
That's the word. Closure.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
So next episode. Well, this was episode. Which episode was this?
This was episode 8. Now we're on
8.
episode 9.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which is titled Apologies, I think. Yeah, it's titled Apologies, right? Okay, so then here we get kind of a conversation between Carmi and Cindy to have like a real convo, and we're gonna talk about A bunch of different shit, honestly, but it's a conversation that was much needed. Carmi tells Sydney that he's been wanting to talk to her about something, saying that he doesn't want to be so hard to keep up with him. But even though Carmi is somewhat opening up, the conversation goes nowhere, and it might be a little bit too late for Sydney. She had already had one foot out the door, and Carmi still closed off. When Sydney leaves the restaurant, Carmi sits in the walk-in and contemplates calling Claire. We cut to Claire working at the hospital, and ultimately Carmi still can't call. I believe so, because I remember, I think at this point, Fag, for some reason, wants to get them together. He's like, I forgot the reason why. Maybe Javi, you remember, one of you two remember? But he pulls up saying, like, hey, man, like, Carmi wants to,
he pulls
work
up to
it.
Claire's job.
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Carmen loves you, trust me. He
okay,
just
and can
know.
I say this?
Go ahead.
Another nitpick I have with the show is that I thought that we were going to now focus on Carmi trying to repair the relationship with Claire, or at least have some sort of closure, but she was barely in the season at all. In fact, this is the only season we see of her other than that flashback scene.
That's true.
Other than that flashback scene where she
like
tells
this entire season is just like kind of alluding that eventually Carmen will go up there and apologize.
The only time they ever really mention her like officially, like, well, I mean, I get it, right? Like, did you call mom? Have you called Claire? Like that line. But this is the first time where, like, the Fact brothers were like, oh yeah, like, she talks about you and blah 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 and all this, and like, wait, really? Like when they're in the dumpster, right? Mm-hmm. This is the first time that they actually like bring her up in conversation, like as an actual conversation, not just a name drop. And the first time that we actually see her in the present time, that wasn't a flashback.
Yeah.
So a part of me was confused because I thought season 3 was going to focus on Carmi trying to make things right with Claire, and instead it went in a different direction where he obsessed himself with his work and buried himself in it. Then having to,
I agree. I think we'll see that in season 4.
Now given the circumstance, but I could have sworn season 3 was going to focus more on that, and it didn't. And I don't know. A part of me was like, if they were not going to go in that direction, did we need this scene where the Fact brothers visit her at her job, or was this once again a comedic scene that went on for too long?
No, because there was a scene, I can't remember if it was this episode, Mario. Don't you remember Carmen was like looking at Claire's contact and he was gonna call? Was it this episode?
I think this, because he was looking. He walked into the
he was in the fridge
and he was looking at his phone like that, but ultimately turned it off.
So he was contemplating like he's still fighting. Like, wait. This is how I took it, right? And that's why it didn't bug me that we didn't get that closure with them yet, especially we didn't see much of Claire. This is why it didn't bother me, because I took it in a sense where he's still fighting, like, should I call and apologize, right? He's thinking like, I didn't mean it. But then the more he's progressing in the restaurant, like the more everything's riding on his shoulders, him finding out, oh, the critic's already here, like, oh, this restaurant that I used to work with is closing down. Like, he's thinking like, I didn't mean this, but I think a part of me kind of did. I have to, like, it's so weird because I'm gonna use modern words, but I gotta lock in. Because the moment I call her and the moment I get some closure with her, then it just, unfortunately, I am going to have to spend more time with her. It's going to go back to how it was kind of, and I'm not going to be focused on the restaurant. But I'm so close. We already had the review come in. I'm so close. Let me just lock in and let me wait a little longer. And he shuts the phone.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Me too.
Perfect. Let's get it. And that's why I don't think I don't think like it bothered me that much.
No, I know. I'm not saying it bothered me. I just assumed that it was going to go in that direction, and it didn't. Yeah. And a part of me, to double down on that, part of me is like, well, did we need that scene in the hospital where they come barging into her work, or is this another one of those Fact brother moments where it's a comedic scene that went on for too long?
I mean,
I feel like if you would have cut this scene out entirely, it would have made the show no different.
You think so? Because people would have, if this scene was not in here, people would have been upset. Like, where the fuck is Claire Bear? We didn't see any Claire. And like, we don't see like her thoughts.
That's true.
We don't have any thoughts of what she thinks after the fact.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So to me, I think we did needed this scene because we see Claire and she kind of gives her thoughts about the whole thing. Like, yo, like, and it kind of gives like some reassurance that like, how Fact is saying, hey, Carmen really does love you. He just doesn't know how to say it, whatever. And Claire's hearing this is like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't as bad as like how it was before, and it kind of gives her a chance, and it shows us that, you know what, she knows what's happening behind the scenes, and maybe it kind of will lead into season 4 of her being more forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's just me, though. Because if we took out this whole scene, then I think it would have been an issue, because it'd be like, where's Claire? You know, where's Claire in this whole season? You know, because of Claire, that was like a huge, like, whoa, big moment of how the season 2 ended. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As for Fac, I mean, once again, I personally didn't think it dragged on for too long or bothered me personally. I like them, and this scene I liked as well. I mean, I don't know. I can't really add much.
For me, I think it's more so like, I think that this scene could have been removed, because per the argument that you made, where it's like, where's Claire in this whole season? A part of me is like, okay, if they felt obligated to show Claire in this season, I didn't think it was justified that she would have such a small scene. Because this is the only scene that we see of her. That and the flashback scene, but that was a flashback.
Yeah.
If we want to see her in the present time, I feel like we should have seen maybe a little bit more of her. But because this show, from the get-go, from the first few episodes, establishes that we're not going to focus on that story arc, but we're going to focus on Carmi somewhat regretting his decision but not wanting to admit it. Therefore, he buries himself in his work and trying to get the restaurant off the ground and whatever, and everything relying on this review and everything, right? That they should have maybe kept this scene out of it. And if they were going to focus more on Claire in season 4, then maybe could have kept all seasons regarding her till season 4. That's what I would have seen it, because her scene in that hospital is so short, and like,
because does she say something like her? Does she give her thoughts
no.
about it?
I mean, it's been over a month.
Mario,
bro,
do you remember?
I
What?
personally,
Does Claire say something?
I think she does, but I don't remember what she says.
I could have
remember
sworn
they-
she
they-
just
they-
keeps telling them, like, listen, guys, I love that you guys came here to my job
Yeah,
and whatever,
that I remember.
but I need you guys to leave. This is not the time for us
But
to have
that
this
happens, but then
conversation.
eventually they crack. Like, she cracks, and she does talk about it. But what those words
Really?
were, yeah, she does crack. I remember,
can't
but
remember,
I
bro.
can't remember what she says.
I'm sick of this. I'm gonna just look it up. I'm gonna look it up, bro. I'm gonna be real.
All right, you want me to move on?
Wait, this is episode 9?
This is episode 9.
Okay, yeah. If y'all want to keep going, I'm gonna. See
All
if I
right,
can
so
find
basically, Uncle Jimmy pulls up afterwards. Just interrupt me when you guys find it.
that fucking scene, bro.
Yeah. So Uncle Jimmy
scene
basically
goes
pulls
crazy.
up, right? And Marcus, Tina, also, and Gary pull up basically just to get ahead of their work. And the Uncle Jimmy basically pulls up to Carmi and says, like, hey, man, just to let you know, this review, and this is big, just let you know, Carmi, if this review is not good, I'm cutting it. I'm cutting
Yeah,
the funding.
bro.
Yeah, I'm like, all bets are off. And then he basically says, like, I'm
Dude,
sorry.
Imagine being Carmen's place, bro.
I know,
Like,
and
stressful
but
as fuck.
but Uncle Jimmy, and I give him props here. He said he admits that he could have done more when it came to Mikey
I
and
love
other
this
shit.
scene, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he admits that shit, bro.
Well, I could have done more. Then it goes back to Carmen. We're saying, well, like, I wish I was here, and then he would be like, well, what could have you? What would you have done? Mm-hmm. And then he also says the same thing. I think I could have done more. And they're both quiet. Like, oh man, I like that. That's fucking peak cinema. Anyway.
And then this is actually the episode
I
where
love that shit.
Richie and Tiff meet up at the playground and ask him about the wedding. Like, hey, why haven't you RSVP'd yet? You know what I mean?
What you mean, girl? How you
I'm
going?
like, you know why? You know why I ain't going.
What you mean,
Hey,
girl?
we do it for Ava. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no need to pull that card on me.
No, for real.
That's bogus as fuck, hell nah. But that happened, right? There was that scene, right? And then we're at the restaurant again, where Marcus tries some of the food Tina has been making and gives her some inspiration about what she can do later. And that later on gives I think wait, hold on, let me see. Carmi later tries to find his own pizza.
Find anything, Hav?
Not yet.
Hav is literally rewatching.
Oh, he is?
I'm
Oh
reading the
my-
subtitles
Oh my
because
god!
you guys said,
All right,
did she
so we-
say
so-
anything? So I'm
all
gonna
right.
see if she said anything.
All right, so
Okay,
I'll move
honestly, I don't think she did, man.
Dude, I
think she
could've
just
sworn she
I
said
think she just
something.
took it all in, and then she's just like acknowledged, like, "Hey, I appreciate you guys coming here, but we can't talk about it here." And then
No, I could have
that was
sworn
it.
she said something more.
We'll
than
see.
that.
We'll see. Hav's gonna.
But either way, and here's another big one. So Sydney weighs her options. So basically, this is all on their days off. So Sydney pulls up to Natalie's house. Obviously, she's pregnant, so she's cooking the food for her. And then her husband Pete comes in, and and Sydney basically asks Nat, like, "Hey, is the contract good?" And Pat says, like, "Yeah, it's $70,000 a year plus bonuses, right?" And keep in mind, the other offer she got from Adam Shapiro is $80,000 plus.
Yeah. So
insurances.
what it is Sydney's deal with the Bear is $70,000 a year plus bonuses and insurance after 3 months. While Adams is $80,000 plus insurance on top, like off rip.
So she doesn't have to wait for the insurance when it comes to Adam.
But like an extra $10K, an extra. Okay, would you leave
Plus
an extra? Would you
bonuses?
no stop? Would you leave your family, the shit you built, motherfucker, for an extra $10K?
Nah.
I wouldn't, man.
I honestly, I thought the
I don't
money.
know.
I thought the money would be more.
I thought so too.
I thought like, yo, I'm starting this shit because Carmi. I feel like Carmi's making more than 70, more.
Come on.
80K if she's being the head chef.
Okay, well, to be fair, I personally think that Carmen would put others first than himself.
That's true.
So like
I
if,
guess,
if like once the restaurant starts making money, he'd obviously pay the people that are working for him, but he probably wouldn't take a lot. Because he just wants as much, like the money that he gets personally, he just would want to funnel that into the business. So I don't think Carmen's making more. I think if anything, because Carmen's the one that got to make payroll, bro. Like why would he pay himself first and not pay the people that are working for him that don't own the restaurant? You know. But anyway,
when did the money first go towards the uncle, since he technically owes him money?
I don't think. No, I don't think so, because technically the uncle owns the business, right? And how can you have to pay your staff? You have to, or else why else will they be there?
When they work for you,
exactly. So the staff there, other than Carmen, and I guess Richie and Nat and Uncle Jimmy, they're the ones that are not getting paid, and and the reason why they say they're losing money is because it's going to the ingredients and stuff and to the staff. Because like you gotta pay the staff, bro. Would y'all work somewhere that they're not paying you? No.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, he finished it. What happened? Did she say anything?
I was right.
She just said we just can't talk about it here.
Exactly.
Fuck. I could have sworn she
Exactly,
cracked, bro.
It's because here's the thing, and again, this ties back to the whole like, man, are the Fag Brothers being too funny? Like, is it too much ad lib?
What if Hoff said like, again, guys, I'm just right. Like,
What?
You know
Once again,
because he said I'm right,
Kiss my
but the
feet.
way he said it, like I'm right. Like,
kiss my feet. I'm king.
like what are we gonna do
Type
about
shit.
it? I'm right again. Like
Again.
y'all
tell
can't
y'all.
catch
Bad
me.
and-
Like, good luck catching me.
DC Studios wasn't even on tape, bro.
No, that shit was funny.
I
Like,
said
once
it,
again,
though.
I'm right.
I
I'm
said
right.
it, bro. No, I said it, man.
That was funny as
And
fuck.
it sucks because you weren't there, Mario, because you don't believe me.
I remember you guys telling me about like, bro, like Mario. I came up with this shit in the car with
I
Hoff.
did. I swear to God, I
He
did.
did.
I swear to
He
God.
did. He did.
But anyway,
This was months before that whole like DC.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
I wish I tweeted that or something. Or something, dude. Oh my God.
I get
Anyway,
But
damn.
no, dude, yeah, he does. Like, and this is the
It's
thing.
just-
This ties back to like the Fag Brother thing, right? Like, are they being too funny? They're trying to like talk to her about the Carmi situation. She's like, no, you guys can't. I can't do this here, blah blah. And they're basically like, no, like, listen, hear us out. Do you remember that one time like we went on a canoe trip and like. I literally just I just skipped 10 seconds. I'm like, I'm not trying to read all that. Like the ad-libbing like canoe story, and then basically he just says like, that's what I'm trying to say is that you're Carmi's peace, his peace, right? Like you're his peace, you're his calm, like you know, like he loves you, like he actually does care for you. And she's just like trying to like, you know what, like I can't talk about this right now. We gotta talk about this someplace else. I love that you guys came here, but like blah blah blah, this and that. She doesn't say anything. So again, I'm gonna tie back what we said earlier, right? I know you guys were talking about something different. I feel like this scene didn't have to be in the show. Like if they wanted to focus on the Claire and Carmi relationship in season 4, then a scene like this should have been reserved to be shown at like the beginning of season 4. Because at least then with them barging into her job, it would kind of like spark a thing in her and would be like, should I reach out? Should I not? And then that's how you can maybe blossom that in season 4. Because here they talk about it, and then spoiler alert, we don't see or hear about Claire after this. Because then episode 10 deals with this like reunion dinner that they have later on, right? And Claire's nowhere to be brought at all. So a part of me was like, should this scene have been taken out and reserved for season 4? That way in season 4, like episode 1 per se, right? They barge into her job. Hey, Carmi still loves you. He thinks about you. And she's like, I don't know, guys. You know what? Let's not talk about it. And then maybe she has this like thought of like, is what Neil and his cousin or brother, or his brother, are they what they saying is true? Maybe I should reach out to him. And at the same time, Carmi's in the fridge, like turning off the phone situation, right? I feel like maybe I'm not saying like cut the scene out. It was irrelevant. I'm saying they should have reserved it to season 4 because obviously it looks like season 4 would be the one that would spark the maybe the relationship between them, like the reconciliation or whatever.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely, because the way I see it, dude, is with Carmen, even though for the overall show and the atmosphere, this is, like I said in the beginning of the review, this is the calm after the storm, right? But yet, Carmen, mentally, he's still in the storm, right? And so, once, at the very end of the episode, there's a moment where he actually has a conversation with someone that was made a huge impact on him. And you could see some sense of closure and like kind of relief, and especially when the review comes out. I know I just skipped ahead, but I mean we're already. It's just one episode. It's just one episode.
Yeah.
You know that there's gonna be some sense of like relief. As oh shit, okay, there's no more anxiety of waiting for this review. There's I stood up to the person that was like did a negative impact on my life. Okay, that's resolved, and now. Back to Claire, where Claire is his piece. I feel like in season 4, that's where it's gonna come all together. Where Carmen is finally gonna be at that piece. Where like, I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. That's what I'm cooking up. Mm-hmm. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, that was.
I mean, we're basically in episode 10 right now. Okay. But for that episode, yeah, that's basically it right there. And because at the end, they're all just prepping for the funeral.
Yeah, and so now we're finally at episode 10.
Yeah, so this basically I kind of like how this episode opens up because this opens up with Carmen basically being taught how to do something with some chicken. I don't know if you remember. It's like the chef like this and that, yes. And then the chef tells him like, hey, like why do you do this? And he gives him like a really meaningful like, I do this because I forgot what reason, for nurturing some shit like that, right? And I thought
fire. Yeah.
That was a very cool.
And that was
scene.
a cool theme where it kind of relates through the whole episode because then they're finally at the restaurant, right? The funeral where they have like a bunch of renowned chefs and like other people that
work. You want to know something cool?
What?
Those are real chefs.
Oh, deadass?
Yeah, I was reading this. I'm like, that's cool. Wow. I'm like, they're actually real chefs.
I recognized. I mean,
what do you saw, Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yo, I actually thought about that.
I thought I would. The thing is,
that'd be funny. That would be funny.
The thing is, I didn't know they were real chefs.
I didn't know.
But when they were like, it's because there's like those scenes where it kept cutting to different people and they were telling their chef stories.
It felt too real.
I was like, exactly. I was like, these are real chefs, bro. Obviously not him. That's Adam Warlock or someone Guardians.
Yeah, Adam
obviously
Warlock.
that's Sid. Obviously that's but like the other people, I was like, oh, these are real chefs because these stories, they're chef stories or whatever,
and
sounded too true.
That and like those stories that they were saying, it tied with what the dude was saying about the whole nurturing and doing it for other people. Remember the very beginning where like that dude's like showing him how to take out the wishbone of the chicken and like tells him
that's what it was.
Telling him the whole like nurturing bullshit. All those stories are very similar to that theme.
Yeah, I know. That's how it opens up.
And also, is it just me or is this the first time we see this guy?
I believe.
I think it is the first time.
I think it is.
Just be another.
He's just a random. Yeah, he's just.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, you think he's a random?
I don't. No,
I was gonna say this might be another chef figure in his life.
Yeah, but I think
like how that asshole and Terry is.
Yeah, but he was more of a good influence.
That's what I'm saying. But will we learn more about him in season 4? We're gonna get more flashbacks dealing with him.
Probably, man.
You know what I mean? Because like this guy kind of comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, is this gonna be another chef figure?
Yeah, dude. And I like this episode too. I like hearing the stories and stuff. And I wrote this down in my notes. This is something I really like, man.
Oh shit! If he wrote it down, it must.
I really like this part.
It's gonna be like that.
The way they cook that chicken, I want to try.
Okay, so they're at the table, right? And this is where Sid is sitting next to Adam Warlock. I forgot his name in the show.
The
one
Luca.
where.
Yeah, he's right.
Luca.
It is Luca.
And this is where Carmen went to Copenhagen to learn shit with Luca at the time.
Yeah.
And remember when they were at this restaurant where, not in Copenhagen, I'm sure that's like their past, but this restaurant where they're at now, where they would like, remember the scenes where they would take the peas out and shit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This part I fucking liked, man, a lot, is when they bring out a dish. They bring out a dish to Sid and like Luca and everyone else and stuff. And then Luca mentions, like Carmen and I, he says we shucked like 10 millions of these peas, and honestly, and says that it's like more of like a trauma dish, and I think Sid says that like, oh yeah, like I just can't stand of like we shucked 10,000 of these peas and like, I just don't like this dish or whatever. And then Sid is like, it's more like a trauma dish, and then he agrees like, yeah, but it's kind of funny because currently I make a dessert version of it. you know, and that's with peas. It's called sweet pea panna cotta or something like that. And then Sid says, "Oh wow, you kind of like repurpose." And she says this while it's like just Carmen, like a face of Carmen, just like staring
at that other
guy.
Yeah.
And she says like, "Oh well, you kind of like repurpose your trauma then, I guess." And then Luca just replies, says, "Well, that's all we can do, right?" And it's just that, and all this combo's happening while she's looking at Carmen. And I love this scene because it's like, bro, that's what this is what this is. This is what the whole theme is. This is like another theme with Carmen, is that he has that trauma and he's gonna repurpose it to something good, and it falls back into the whole self-reflection, and then the type of themes that we've been getting in here with closure, you know, and reconciliation and stuff that's alluding that we're gonna get with Claire in season 4. And that part, bro, I thought was fire, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, man, damn. And then just seeing Carmen's face, like just serious, how he's spaced out, how you know how he is, just staring at that.
He
one
visibly
guy.
looks anxious without looking.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I wrote that down, man. I wrote that down because I'm like, yo,
man,
that's actually fire as fuck.
But that happened. That cool scene happened. We get a bunch of moments basically where Hav was talking about where like all these chefs who are real life chefs talk about
their stories,
their fuck ups, their great moments, why they do what they do. We get shit like that. But then at some moment, we get Chef Terry's speech, and it's obviously very heartfelt. She's thanking a lot of people, why all that shit, right? And then we get a moment where Carmi confronts the dude, David.
Man.
David, Chef David,
right?
That's his name.
And he says like, "Hey, you gave me PTSD, you gave me anxiety, like fuck you.
I couldn't
like
sleep.
fuck you."
I like the scene. I like the part where he says, "I've always wondered what I would say in this moment, like being face to face with you again." And he's like,
"What are you gonna say?"
Well, what do you have to say? And he's like, "Other than fuck you, I don't know."
Yeah.
And I think I like when like in the middle of that conversation is like, when you came to me, you were an okay chef. I made you an excellent chef. And I'm like,
fuck. You know what I hate? No, I hate that. No, dude. No, I hate that shit.
You're right, though.
Because he's right.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's facts, bro. Because you know what, man? It's a real thing, bro. Like being hard on tough on you, bro, can perfect your craft, bro.
And it sucks, but it's like, dude,
that's why Ramsey's mean as he is.
Yeah, man.
Then again, I mean, in interviews and stuff, he's opened up and said like when he was learning how to be a chef, like his mentors have always been hard on him, and that's why he's always hard on other chefs, and also because he's also kind of a celebrity chef, so he puts on the show for the audience, for TV. But he has said like that is like a real thing. What's funny is I've always wanted to hear what his thoughts are on the show. I wonder if he sees the show. He's like, there's a lot of truth to that.
We should ask him.
That'd be cool. But
I said we should ask him like we know.
What the fuck? You caught that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we should ask him.
You should ask him.
I went like this.
Let me call Gordon Ramsay real quick.
But dude, I hate that shit because he's right, man. Bro.
And like you could see the pain and like his face, and you could see like he's tearing up, and yet David, he's just smiling. He's like, "Hey man, like, so I'm gonna go piss now."
He's smug.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm gonna go piss now. I made you an excellent chef." No, he says, "You're welcome." Remember that part?
Yeah.
He says, "You're welcome." He's like, "You're welcome." He's like, "Yeah."
He said, "You're welcome. You gave me stomach ulcers. You gave me nightmares. You gave me all this bullshit." And he's like, "Yeah, but you came to me as just a good chef."
Yeah.
Then you left as an excellent chef.
Damn. And then as soon as he leaves, right, that's where like Carmen finally lets out the tear, and you see him tear,
bro.
And like, oh man.
And then after this scene, we get a moment between Luca and Sydney, and they just talk about family, shit like that. Before Adam, the guy who gives Sydney the offer, is like, "Hey, have you told Carmi yet?" And she says, "No, I haven't, but I'm still very much interested in your offer." After that scene, we get Carmi runs into Chef Terry. And Carmi basically asks her like, "Hey, what are you gonna do now?" And she's like, "I'm gonna sleep in. I'm gonna meet people, travel the world, do things I couldn't do when I was younger." And Carmi basically ask her for advice, like, "Hey, what advice do you give me?" And what she told him was, "You have no idea what you're doing, and therefore you're invincible." That's what she says.
Damn.
What do you think she means by that? Is my question to you guys.
What do you think, Hav?
I don't know.
He's like, "What? I'm too stupid. I don't know."
Wait. Let me see. Okay, hold on, Mar. I gotta actually read it.
Mm-hmm. It's
Is it the very end or where?
It's near the end. It's like the second to last, not second to last, like third paragraph down, where how should I say it? It's under this picture. Like you scroll down here, and then you scroll a little bit more down, and a little more down. Look, and it's right here. Yeah, it goes.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see that. You're welcome, excellent chef. Yep, leaves Carmen in tears. Yeah.
Scroll a little bit more down, and then you'll find it.
Oh yeah, you have no idea what you're doing, and therefore you're invincible. That shit.
It's deep. I'll tell you my interpretation of it, because I feel like it had many meanings. For me, I think she's saying like, hey, you're young, so therefore I think you can deal with it now, but at some point, it's gonna catch up to you, and you're just gonna want to drop it all. Because Chef Terry just dropped it all out of nowhere, and that's what I got from it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that's true, man. It could mean a bunch of different things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what was your interpretation? That was mine, or maybe it's the same, or maybe it's a little bit different. That's what I wanted to ask you.
But also, she also said, like, I don't know, because you kind of skipped over this too as well, is that she just wants to live her life.
No, I kind of said that word, like she wants to sleep in. Yeah, I said where she wants to sleep in. She wants to travel the world.
She wants to meet new people. Yeah. Okay.
She invested so much in the restaurant for so many years that it's now finally time.
Yeah, and then obviously this is like kind of alluding to Carmen, like showcasing that Carmen doesn't really have that, because all he has is the restaurant and stuff, and he probably won't be able to do those things the same, like, until he's probably her age or some shit.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. The question she asked is like, what advice would she give her younger self? My bad. I misquoted. My bad.
Yeah.
And that was what she would give her younger self, Chef Terry. That was the advice she would give her. And I think that's what it is. For me, how I took it is like what I said. It's like, hey, you're young now. You can do it because you're young. But at some point, you're going to have enough, and you're trying to, like, I'm done. And that's what happened to her.
That is really interesting, man.
But
I can see that too, Mario. Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I feel like this is a quote where you can take it in many ways.
It's something you would tell your younger self. You have no idea what you're doing, and therefore you're invincible.
Carmi kind of has no idea how to run a restaurant on his own, where he's in charge. He's struggling. He's giving it his all, but we can clearly tell he's struggling with it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at some point he's gonna break.
Yeah, what about you, Hav? Nothing?
Well, I mean, I just rewatched the scene to see if maybe.
Oh, what the fuck?
That whole time,
just to see if there was maybe any other context, and there isn't. It's just very, like, plain and simple. She says that she would say that to her younger self, and I'm trying to think you don't know what you're doing, therefore you're invincible. Maybe she's trying to say, like, you don't know your weaknesses. Since you don't know what you're doing, and it's your first time opening a restaurant, being an owner and running it, you don't really know if you have a weakness. You don't really know what's going to work or not. You don't really know what could go well or what could go wrong. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you maybe can do anything that you want for now. You're invincible because you don't know your weaknesses. Maybe that could be it. Because technically, he's asking her what advice he would
younger self.
To her younger self. He also said to your younger self, like, if you were in the same position as me, as in Carmi's position, just starting out a restaurant, barely starting it out now. So now with that extra context,
some like sky's the limit type shit.
Yeah,
right.
Like that. Like I said, I would have taken it like, well, you don't really know your weaknesses. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's going to work or not. So therefore, you're invincible.
That's true, Hav. You're right. I think you cooked something. Yeah.
All right. There you go.
That's how I took it.
Okay.
Hey, man, it's fire.
He's like, I don't know, but it's fire.
What if Carmen said, the fuck? Like, what'd you say, ho? You dumb as invincible.
Oh my god, that's funny.
You said Omni-Man?
For real.
All right. And one thing I do like as well symbolizing is, okay, we talked about how self-reflection and how Carmen's moving on from the past, right?
Yeah.
He's laughing. Why are you laughing?
Because you said invincible to hell. What if Carmen was like, my brother wasn't?
Oh, you a bitch. Mikey wasn't invisible. You know,
You don't know what the fuck he was doing.
for real. That's actually fucked
That's
up.
actually fun.
That's
Why I'm laughing.
Oh my god.
No, but okay. So like I said, so we talk about the theme of closure, self-reflection, moving on from the past, right? And another symbolism that I took is that so many memories, core memories from Carmen is in this restaurant in her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she's closing down the restaurant and she's, I guess, ending a chapter in her life, Carmen's starting a new chapter of his. And with the restaurant being closed down, that's kind of like a metaphor in a sense where that Carmen's finally gonna let go of like his past, of like what bugged him, like that David guy, and just everything in general, and he's finally gonna start his new life. And it kind of shows, because after that whole shit, they do like an after party where they go to Sydney's house.
Yeah.
And she's there, and like they're eating like waffles with like, I don't know what the fuck they're eating, and they're having a good time, and like she's living her life and shit, what she always wanted to do. And then Carmen is obviously just walking in the streets of Chicago.
Doesn't Sydney like excuse herself from the party and starts breaking down crying?
Yeah,
she has, like,
I was
a
about to
panic
bring this
attack.
up.
Yeah, she has like a
like
huge panic attack
because she realizes if she takes that offer, this is what she's leaving behind. Are those people? Those memories.
But did you hear the money that we found out? The actual money of like
No.
It's 80,000.
With the bear, with the bear, if you're with the bear, you make $70K a year, right? Plus bonuses. You get insurance after 3 months, right? Whereas if you work with the other dude, you get $80K a year with bonuses and insurance up front.
Up front.
Not
after 3 months.
Not after 3 months.
Okay.
Right there. From
So
the
my
get-go.
thing is, well, would you take that offer? To me, I'm like, no. An extra $10K just to leave my brothers.
Yeah, I thought it would be more. I thought it would be more.
The guy said blank check.
That's true.
So
I know.
I would have said you.
I thought it was around
But
100K,
if it was just
bro.
another 10, if it's just for another 10K, I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
And especially with all the journey you went through.
Exactly. So anyway, but anyway, yeah, you're right.
But,
Sydney's still here.
She's seriously considering it, bro.
Well, the problem is because an extra 10K plus you have the freedom to do the type of food you want to do.
Yeah.
Because the problem not letting her do
Hey, that's
this
the
shit.
problem, and that's the problem that she wants to feel. Her passion is to be a chef and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And sure, she likes to cook and stuff, but she also wants to make. She also wants to leave her legacy behind. You know, she also wants to create a legacy for herself. She wants to create her own dishes, and obviously Carmen's not letting that happen. So that is why she's struggling. Is like, dang, like, you know, I want to do that shit, and that's why she's breaking down, which is that's a tough scene, man. It's like, damn, that sucks. And obviously, like going back to what I was saying, while that's happening, Carmen's like walking in the streets of Chicago. Gets a random text. What the fuck? Sees a bunch of texts from the computer and Uncle Jimmy. He's like, what the fuck? Gets a notification. Chicago Tribune.
Review out.
The bear.
The review.
Subscribe.
The review gets to.
And he says, what did he say? Oh, fuck. Or like some bullshit.
Some
I
shit
forgot what
like
he says. And it just cuts, man.
To be continued.
Damn.
No, we do see some hints of the review. We
Do
get
we? Oh,
he
get
sees quick glimpses of
It's
Yeah,
words.
but
quick.
it's
quick.
like
vague.
It's one of those
vague as
things where
shit.
like you can't pinpoint because there's good words and bad words.
Yeah, there's
So
views like
you
there's
just don't
words
know.
like confusing, dissonance, and sloppy, but then words like excellent and innovative and brilliant.
Exactly,
And then
so-
boom, ends.
So you just don't know. It's like one of those things where, you know,
Cold War we live in.
it's a cold world. Hey, it's too cold. Motherfucker be getting hives out here. Better watch. You better watch out. I don't think Howard heard me.
I think I heard you.
You
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, he heard you. He heard you. He heard you. Yeah.
Should we? Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
Okay,
funny.
wait. Should we tell the people now that?
Yeah,
we
it was just a series of a bunch of different words.
How, should we tell the people now that I made that joke?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, so it was just a bunch of different words.
Yeah, you
he
just can't
he
pinpoint.
just rolls his eyes. He just goes motherfucker,
And it just cuts.
and then that's when it cuts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, dude, based on his reaction, we can only assume it was negative.
No, because I don't think he wasn't reading. I don't think he was reading it. Was he?
Yeah, because he pulled out his
yeah,
phone
I
and
think
he
he
was
was
just like
reading.
this. And then on
Ooh.
the screen, it was just a bunch of different words.
Oh shit.
Like he
maybe.
said, positive words and negative words, but they were just going too fast.
Yeah, but was it motherfucker as in like motherfucker? Like
play
we
the
did
scene,
it,
bro.
Like we did it, motherfucker. We did
No,
it, or
'cause look-
motherfucker. Like
I think it's motherfucker. Like fuck, damn it. Like, there goes our funding.
No, because look at the face he makes after he reads it.
so he's reading it.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, bro.
Look at him.
Yeah, but look right there. Right there looks kind of like like some like
The fuck is
Some
he
closure shit.
This is just
can't
pump
closure
iron.
shit.
I can't lift and pump iron.
I don't know, man. I think he wasn't happy with it, but we'll have to wait for season 4.
Sure. Since I made that joke about the cold shit, how should we tell them a little bit or no?
The what?
The cold.
The
It's a
hives.
cold world that motherfucker be getting.
I don't care. It's a condition I have.
Had.
Hell no.
H-A-D.
That's
Had.
facts.
Hav was allergic to the cold at one point, guys.
Yeah, man.
So we want to make jokes like it's a
Cold world,
it's a
man.
cold
It gets
world.
itchy as hell.
Hell no. That's funny.
It's too cold.
It's too
motherfucker.
cold.
It's too cold.
It's so
out here.
cold, bro. I be wearing thermal
real.
pants in the winter.
But yeah, that's pretty much how it ends, man. I mean, fuck. I don't think I have any final thoughts throughout the review. I think I said everything.
No, yeah, me too.
So I guess the only thing is left is our scores.
Oh shit, I forgot.
I was about to say,
thoughts.
you sound like you're about to end it. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
bro,
we
what
still
the-
need
I
to give
forgot
our
about
I
score.
didn't even rate this hoe.
Yeah, I was about to say, so who wants to start off? You, me,
Listen, man.
Hav?
Just like my shout out, plug
Okay,
my Twitter,
I
man.
did then.
Just like it's a perfect,
I'm gonna go last.
All right.
Go ahead.
I think it's just like a perfect, the path of self-reflection, closure, fucking
Self-reflection.
moving. What'd I say?
No, nothing. It just sounded funny, like the way you said it.
Self-reflection.
Yeah, the path of self-reflection. It sounded funny to me, man.
The closure, the moving on from past, and like what Sydney and Luca were saying, how they repurposing trauma, to something great. I love these themes, man, and I still love this season, even though it was not as chaotic and crazy as the first two. But like I said, it's literally the calm after the storm, man, and I truly like it. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10, man.
Dang.
10 out of 10. I loved it. Hey, I think I gave I think the first two seasons I also gave them a 10 out of 10.
you did.
Yep.
You did.
Damn, this
You
is a perfect show for me right now, or masterpiece of a show for me right now.
That's true.
Crazy.
All right, Mario.
But anyway,
All right, so basically,
I love this show, man.
what's it
Probably my
called?
top 5.
The acting, phenomenal. I think the stories that were being told, especially in the first one and the one with Tina, I think were the most like meaningful for me, to say at least. The other ones were amazing as well, but those two are probably my favorites of this season. I would say my only critique I would have of this is I feel like Marcus didn't really have a lot of shine this season compared to the past two. I wish he was more involved in it, because Marcus is one of my favorite characters in this show. So I wish he would have had more of a meaningful story, but I can kind of see it why, even though I don't kind of agree with it. But other than that, I love the finale, him saying "fuck you" to David. I'm like, yeah, bro, fuck you, even though he made you who you are. And that line where it's like, yeah, he came in okay shape. Now
But
you're
if you
an
think
excellent
about it, he kind of came up on. David came out on top in that combo.
yeah, I know he did, bro. Which is why I'm like, damn, you gotta love it,
I'm
bro.
gonna go piss now.
Dude, oh, I have to say,
I'm
man.
gonna go piss now.
But
All right?
I
Gives him
would-
a little smirk and he walks off.
I would probably give.
I would shout at Nah, I'm playing.
Okay. Pork chops.
This motherfucker.
This is a real pea shooter.
I would probably give season 3 of The Bear a 10 out of 10.
Damn. Okay, Mario.
The critique
Yeah,
with Marcus, I think I would
I'm
have.
not gonna lie, I was gonna give it a 9.
I was
so too.
debating it, but I was like, you know what? It wasn't bad what I got. It's just more of I just wanted more.
Like, listen, like I said, I do understand why people were not liking it, just because it was more calm. Like, it was just not as chaotic.
That's true.
But to be fair, like, it's like what I said, man. I think it's supposed to be that way, man. It's about time that we start slowing things down a bit for these characters to actually self-reflect, man,
and you
start
deepen your connection with them.
yeah, exactly, and rebuilding friendships and relationships.
Like
and,
for this season, I
know?
care a whole lot more about Tina. Just knowing how it all came to be.
yeah. But anyway, that's just what I thought the point was. But go ahead, Hoff. I'm
What
curious
do you guys remember what you guys rated the other 2 seasons?
I think
I know you.
gave
Both of
both,
them were.
yes,
Yeah. What
yes.
about you, Mario?
I don't remember. I'll check.
Because for me, I rated season 1 a 10 out of 10.
Yes,
I rated
remember that.
season 2 a 9.
A 9, yes.
Right. So okay, as for my
Predictions, I got. Can I say it? No, I got.
thoughts, what?
I was gonna say my prediction of what rating you're gonna give it.
Oh, go ahead. Let me see. I want to hear it.
An 8.
Fuck, I don't think I wrote it down.
I think an 8. I think Javi. Yeah.
He don't remember. He don't remember.
I don't know, man. I think you also gave it a 10, bro.
I'll
Unless
say I
both
probably gave it
seasons?
10.
unless you gave season 2 a 9, like half. I can't remember that.
I don't know, but it's minimum of 9, and I'm pretty sure I gave one of them a 10.
You gave one of them a 9?
Yeah, one of them.
It's probably season 2. But anyway,
Okay.
Go ahead, Hav.
Well, do you want to?
No, go ahead.
He already said his rating.
No,
Yeah.
he predicted
Oh.
that my rating.
Oh yeah,
for
what do you think
season-
he's gonna give it? I think an 8. I think he's gonna give it an 8.
An
8? No, I think it's
Because like if he gave the last season a 9, I don't know. I just have
I
a
think he's gonna give it a
feeling
9
Give this
also.
one an
9, because I think he enjoyed everything but the critique he had.
I don't know. We'll see. Go ahead, Hav. Let it out.
So you said 9?
9, yeah.
That's
you said 8.
That's a fair guess.
That's
Okay.
crazy because once again you're wrong and I'm right.
It's a 7.
I lie about my score. That's a 5. Y'all wrong.
That's
That's funny as shit. Okay, final thoughts and rating. Okay, so I thought the season of The Bear was really, really good. I thought it was awesome. The first 2 episodes definitely hooked me. The rest of the show I thought was really good as well. I mean, the acting, the writing, everything was there. My few nitpicks with the show is I felt like the comedy with the Fag Brothers went on for a little too long. I expected season 3 to go into the direction where we would see the reconciliation between Carmi and Claire, and we didn't get that. And a part of me was like disappointed because I was like, man, I thought we were gonna see what was gonna happen after. But the cool thing is that instead of giving us that, they gave us another story on Carmi on how he became so obsessive with the restaurant. And how he wanted it to work and how that was affecting everyone else in the restaurant and stuff like that, right? I like that we had that solo episode with Tina. That was really good. I like that in this episode. Okay, well, rather let me word it like this. I gave season 2 a 9 out of 10 because my 2 biggest complaints were that I felt like Marcus didn't have much to do in the last season.
Really?
I felt like when he went over to
I
like
feel
Marcus had a whole
season.
episode.
I was about to say
exactly where he goes to Copenhagen and stuff, but a part of me felt like why? Like I was
I love
left
that
wondering why he had that whole like side quest and why he was out doing his own thing.
Okay.
Well, he was learning shit.
Which later then I appreciated because I saw how that came into be and for season 3. I guess it was set up. See that? Another issue that I had with season 2 was that Ibrahim didn't really have much screen time, and it felt like the writers didn't know what the fuck to do with him in the show. And a part of me was like, damn, like if they didn't know what to do with him, he was barely in season 2, what are they gonna do with season 3? And I like that they committed into being like, well, he's gonna be a small part of the show. Rather than keeping him big, we're gonna make him small, and we're not gonna have him play a huge part into the story. He'll make some appearances, but I felt like what they did was by giving people random side quests, in my opinion, or not knowing what to do with a character, not knowing how they're going to write them. I felt like they took those mistakes that I felt like were flaws that contributed to my rating in season 2, and they learned from it. They saw that, like, well, if we don't know what to do with Ibrahim, then just downgrade him to a minor character. Marcus learning how to bake and shit with Adam Warlock, well, that plays into a factor into him wanting to be a better baker for the Bear when that launched. And also, his mom passed away, therefore he has a character development where he needs the restaurant to succeed because his mom believed in it, and that gives him a little more character than he did in the last season. So I felt that some of the issues that I had with season 2, which weren't big ones, but it was big enough for me to drop a rating, a number, I felt like they learned from it. And I felt like they were able to tell a more cohesive story, one that showed a lot more character development with all the characters, and one that kind of left you wondering what was going to happen next, especially with that cliffhanger. So I decided that this show,
this season,
this season, I mean, y'all gonna cook me, right? I like it more than Shogun.
Damn.
I gave Shogun a 9.
That's criminal.
But I also think I found myself invested in the drama of this show more than X-Men 97.
Damn.
Whoa.
So I think I'm gonna give season 3 a 10.
Whoa. I was not expecting that.
Tens from all of
That's
us.
crazy. How? Just bump up season 2, bro. Just bump it up 10, bro. Come on.
Nah, man, because I still didn't like how
Come on.
Ibrahim disappeared for episodes, and they never explain where he went.
That's crazy.
Nah, man.
Damn. Okay. Nice.
I still
10 out
think
of 10.
season 1's the best season of the show.
Yeah.
I still like season 1. I think season 1
Just-
is still the best. But this show learned
Season 1
from
was
the flaws that I had with season 2.
Yeah.
And they learned from it.
Damn, there we go. Straight 10.
Straight 10.
Across the fucking board, man. All right, well, Jesus, that was...
LOL, you're wrong.
Dang. Once again, man. But anyway.
That's funny. An 8, though, is crazy.
I don't know, dude.
Why did you think I would give it an 8? Now I want to know.
Because I just thought that you maybe fell under that category where you kind of were upset that things were slowing down and the whole slow burn shit. And I just thought like you weren't going to be a fan of that. But yeah.
No, I mean I fucked with it. I liked it. I mean I understood the story, like everything that was going down, so I was invested.
But yeah, guys. With that being said, thank you guys so much for listening. That is the review of The Bear season 3. And until the next one, man. What, next year maybe or something? I don't even know.
Who knows?
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.
Peace.
See ya.